really loud, by the way. So if things are ever too loud, please let me know. But welcome in, everybody! So today we are on our second episode thing of our Cyberpunk playthrough. So if you didn't see the first one, I'm completely blind. I have no idea what the fuck I'm doing. David has played this game, but he hasn't told me anything. I haven't watched the anime. I've never played the tabletop RPG. I literally know fuck shit nothing. So we are completely blind, but I'm really enjoying it so far. So I honestly was really loud or really excited for this stream. So that's also a problem when the loud is either the music or Keanu. We haven't found Keanu yet, so I'm hoping maybe this stream we will find Keanu Reeves and I can give him a big kiss on the lips. Although apparently you can't romance Keanu Reeves. I know he probably like has a character and everything, but I feel like it's gonna be like a Law and Order Ice-T situation. Like, you know when like you're like, do you guys watch SVU? Like Law and Order SVU? Because like Ice-T is on Law and Order SVU, right? But like, and like he has a character and his character like has a name and shit. But I don't know what the fuck that is. Like, that's just Ice-T to me. That's how I'm gonna be with Keanu Reeves. I'm gonna be like, I don't care who the fuck the game says you are, that is Keanu Reeves. But welcome in, gamers, hello. I am absolutely down to carry some bazongas. So let's get right into it. All right, let me make myself small. I have to little, but welcome in, everybody. I'm super excited. I don't remember entirely where we left off. We were about to do some investigating, if I recall correctly. So let's see where we left off.
Hey,
we'll take it from there.
Everyone, feels great to have you back. So then, did y'all hear about that Arasaka aircraft carrier docked in Night City? Called Kujira, or the Whale.
That is what that means.
Apparently the Corp figured it wasn't safe in Japanese waters. Afraid some local fishermen might harpoon it for scientific research.
Okay.
But honestly, it's quite the power move. Wonder what Militech will respond.
Alright, so here's where we left off. We got, oh shit, we got our man, Jackie over here.
Had to be
let me turn the volume down a little bit more. Hold on, because it's still really loud for me. Let me do sound.
Yeah, that's right.
That should be better. Okay, cool. But yeah, let me know if it gets too loud. So we're with Jackie. We're going to. Do I have like a journal? I'd like to. I almost got ran over by a car. Holy shit. I want to read my journal. So we're doing a few different things. I've already accumulated quite a lot of quests. Welcome in. We are right now going to the Gate of All Foods, which is basically cash, sex, power, my three favorite things. Other than maybe like a Taco Bell cheesy gordita crunch. Yes, we are doing cult shit. Welcome in, everybody. Hi. These Maelstrom Carbonines shit can be sure. They look creepy ass toaster faces. Okay, so we're doing some picky uppy things. And there's also, yeah, this is the Cyber Psycho thing. We did get some info about Lizzie's bar with the, yeah, I don't remember a ton of it. And I feel like the quest, I wish the quest was like, I know this is like a character speaking to me. You know, but I'm like, I don't know what this means. So we're just gonna kind of like go and we're just gonna do whatever happens because I have no reading comprehension. We haven't met any girlfriends yet, but I'm excited. Okay. Wait, I'm hijacking a vehicle? Oh, fuck yeah. Okay.
With Maelstrom, you just never know.
Okay. Alright, I'm just gonna follow him. Should I have my gun out? Is there like a penalty if I just walk around with my gun out? Like, is that allowed? Can I do that? Because I like having my gun out. It makes me feel safe. There's some weird shit in Night City. I've only been here for like 2 days, and I'm already afraid. All right.
Go on.
Hi.
Let them know we're here.
Hello. You're going to Technophile Gang and hope shit will go well. I hope shit will go well.
Don't know you.
Just open the fuck up.
Just open the fucking door.
Yeah? You make a fucking appointment?
Yeah.
Because I don't see nothing in my book.
It's on Google Calendar, you dickwad.
Wanna talk to Royce? Dex sent us.
Main room. We've been waiting.
Aha! See, it was on your Google Calendar. Okay. What is this? Let me just like
Cozy place.
look around.
Could use
What
a
is
few
this thing?
plants though.
Attribute.
Oh, yeah.
Means your attribute level's not. Yeah, what
They look
is this?
damn well prepared.
Guess we're not gonna find out. 'Cause
Don't think I've ever
apparently
seen
I don't know jack
security
shit.
like
Fuck all.
this in a chow factory.
Okay, let me lower the volume just a little bit more because it's still showing up as like really loud. So let me fix that real quick. We're gonna like 45.
Gear from the Jack convoy. Gotta be.
It's a turret? Oh
Must
shit.
have been all
Okay.
over it like maggots on dead meat.
Ooh. Yeah, I have no idea what I'm gonna do for my build yet. I want to be I don't know. I don't know what the easiest first class is per se. Like first, I guess way to use my traits. All I know is I don't know if I want to do a bunch of hacking stuff because it's kind of overwhelming to me. But like, I like shooting things. I'm good at shooting things. Well, I'm not good at shooting things, but I know how to do that. Wait, what? What does this do?
Anti-personnel mine. Directional
I guess we're
shrapnel
just
spitter.
looking into it. I was like,
My
I'm gonna
favorite.
set a mine. Okay. Shit.
Subtle.
I do be gaming though. I do be gaming. I'm like, sorry if I'm like, I just started streaming. I feel like usually I'm like really talkative when I just start streaming, but I'm just like, what's happening? I want to know what's happening. Okay. Hello. Hello. Is this where I need to be?
Get in the elevator. Fucking shit.
Excuse me.
Stay cool. They're just trying to spook us.
Is it like a dog? I just need to like show my dominance over him. Yeah, I'm a tough guy. You don't bother me. I'm not afraid of loud noises.
Chill, V.
That'd be crazy.
Remember, we're on their turf.
Okay, on their turn. Hi.
What do you want?
Here for the flathead.
You got a bot. Model MT0D12, called the Flathead.
And? The hell you care?
That's right, the pretty lady
Guy I
sent us on
represent
this.
already paid brick
the
for it. I'm
the
just
rich
here for the
lady, the
pickup.
corporal lady
I can
that
talk
almost
direct
kicked the
to
shit out of
Royce if
us.
necessary.
I remember now. I remember now. Okay.
Nah, you talk to me. Name's Dum Dum.
Okay, dum
Now
dum.
couch. Planet.
All right. I didn't think we'd be like not even 15 minutes in and get into a casting couch situation, but I can't say I'm entirely surprised. I don't like where this is going. I don't like where this is going.
Well, shit. Goes for you too.
Huh?
I'll stand.
This so fucking hard?
Huh?
Fucking ass on the fucking couch.
Oh my god.
Thought
Casting couch
you'd
for these guys with
never
toasters, not
ask.
people. Oh.
See
Okay,
your
well
ass
good thing I'm
down
not
for a
okay,
planet
Jackie,
full
just
of
chill.
scum.
Sit down.
Just chill. It's okay. I don't want us
This
to
ain't
get
gonna
shot.
end well, but shit.
Let's try to be normal.
Well,
But welcome in everyone
alright.
who's coming in. Hello. Okay.
come on. Gotta lighten up.
Oh shit,
Take
yeah.
a hit.
Sure. I'll take drugs from strangers. I don't give a shit. Dare taught me nothing.
Better.
Okay, yeah, I feel better about because I was about to be like, am I gonna fucking die for that? But then he did
Now
it, so
we can
it's probably
talk.
fine. It's probably fine. Probably.
Here we go. The Flathead. Model MT0D12.
Okay. Show it to me.
Need to see it.
Suit yourself.
Dare said not to take drugs. Yeah, I saw a TikTok about this. Dare taught me about things you could do to get high that I didn't even know about.
Dynamic
They'd be like, don't sniff pain. You know, don't. I'm like, damn, you can do that. That's crazy. I'm learning all kinds of new things today.
Vanadium Kevlar composite. And watch this. Fully integrated
I
link
can't
2.
turn. I
So
wanted to
when the
see him
spider
skate
starts
around.
crawling up walls dangling from
Where's he going?
ceilings.
Could lose your
Oh,
lunch.
there he goes. Hi, buddy. Is it bad that I
What'd
think
you
he's
say?
kind of cute? We'll take it. No, I don't have the chutzpah for this. We'll take
Yep,
it.
we'll take it.
Free. Sure.
Can I spoil? I would prefer you did it.
Let's see
This is my first time playing this
Brick
game,
got
and I'm
it.
completely
It's all
blind. So
paid
normally
off.
I don't mind spoilers, because I usually play games I've already played before, but this is completely blind. Oh shit!
I don't see any fucking brick around here, do you?
Fuck! Shit!
Fuck brick then. Let's cut a new deal.
Oh fuck.
Now that's good business sense.
Ah, that's right, I'm a girl boss. I'm a
You
girl
want the
boss.
flathead? I better see some eddies.
Here you go.
Relax. Got him right here.
Just like that. Without batting a fucking eye.
I'm a businesswoman. I need. Do you want it or not?
Want it or not? I got places to be.
You know, you never did say who sent you.
What to
Never
do
did
ya?
say who you're working for.
Girl
Dexter
boss,
Deshawn.
gatekeep, gorilla arms.
That's
Fuck
who.
yeah.
Dexter Deshawn. The lord ass who punching animal fucked half of Pacifica.
Punch, 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 punch. I wanna punch. I wanna punch. Yeah! Let's go. Okay, okay. Oh shit. Oh fuck. Okay. Wait, no. What did I just do? Oh, okay. I forgot that was the grenade button. Oh fuck. Bang, 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 bang. Where's my other weapon? Ah! Okay, big boy gun. Wait, which one's the aim assist? I don't remember the controls. Ron, thank you so much for the 7 months, dude. I have 7 PlayStations. I just.
Control shard. Quick.
That was a lot. That was.
Gotta find a way out of here.
There was a lot going on.
Any idea how we could do that?
Armored shutter.
I forgot the grenade button and then I
We
threw
were
one.
getting through that.
So now I know what it is now.
Old-ass factory, though. Bound to be tech tunnels and shafts and shit all over the place.
Okay.
Can't hurt to try.
Here's the little baby.
Got the set. Bot and controller.
Let's do
go.
some looting.
Quicker the better.
Can I just take all? I don't know what's good or what's not good. I'm taking everything.
Fresh air.
Okay, I'm just taking everything because I don't know what's good or not. I hear like an alarm. I don't know how important that is, but like, yeah, I'm just taking everything. Ooh, an iconic weapon. What's that? I passed a legendary gun. Is this the legendary gun? You just acquired an iconic weapon. Iconic weapons possess unique abilities. However, they cannot be improved with weapon mods. With the appropriate components, iconic weapons can be upgraded to a higher tier, which significantly improves their power. You can do this for. Oh, so now we got a cool gun. Cool guy gun. Did I grab it? I think I grabbed it. Let me double check. Because if I walk away without it, I'm gonna feel like an idiot. Yeah. Ooh. Let's try this one. Wait, did I just? Okay, yeah, I have it now. Oh my god, she's so slay. Look at her with that fucking what's the movie? She got that James Bond pose. Oh my god, she's so slay. You're dead. Is there another? Okay, we'll go through the tunnel. I'll follow directions. I'll stop being a loot goblin. All right, let's go. Hi.
When it failed, it's meat. Ah,
Ugh.
I can taste it.
Ugh.
It's a production line.
Ooh,
Plus, I thought
yummy.
you loved meat.
Food? Book?
Really no other way.
I'm still just being a loot goblin. Wait. Duh. How do I get over there? Yeah, right now I have. Oh yeah, I should put other guns in the slots. Okay, I have my fancy pistol and then big boy gun. I like big boy gun, and then I think I'm good. And then one more gun, shotgun. I like shotguns a lot. Okay, there we go. Okay, turn on the production line to clear the passage. Okay, Jackie, where the fuck did you go? It's dark in here and I'm stupid. Can you pass here? How do I get up there? Oh. Oh, jump. Okay. Oh, okay. Let's try that again. I'm not very good at parkour. Okay, jump. Stop. Is it one of those things where I just walk up and I jump? Okay, there we go. Oh, it's kind of like Mirror's Edge. Okay, I see. All right. Boop.
Oh, good. It's moving. Let's go.
We're moving. Oh, what? Ooh. Ooh, smoke. Ooh. Ooh. Okay. Oh shit, is there more people? Oh fuck. I can't see anything. Jackie, where did you go? Is that Jackie? Okay, that's Jackie. Oh shit. Oh, it's sneaky time.
They got cams.
They got can? What does that mean? What is can slang for?
They can spot you.
How do I do the hacker man thing? I think. What's that? Manipulates break chain? What does this button do? Overheat? Reboot optics. Short circuit. I'm wondering, is there anything I can explode in here? Distract enemies? Floodlight initiate overload? What does that do? We'll just do that one for now. I would like you to explode. Okay. That's one.
Ladies and gentlemen, Jackie Wells.
Okay. That's another. There was one more, I think. Or did I get him? Stop being alive! Okay. Oh shit. Wait, they're trying to breach my system. That's very invasive. What is that? Huh? What? Wait, what is happening? How do I stop? No! Wait, open the door! Stop! Stop hacking me! It's very rude! Oh shit! Oh, switching gear business faster than reloading! Okay. I'm very overwhelmed. Okay. Oh, you're still here. Hi. Oh shit, but so slow. Okay, switch to bigger gun. Ah! Okay. Who's the hacker man? Who is hacking me? Where's the hacker man? Where the fuck is... Ah! Okay. Hacker man? Ah! Stop! Stop being alive! It's so cringe! Stop! Okay. Do not hack me. I did not consent to that. Jesus Christ. I'm sorry, I'm like yelling. I'm just like, there's a lot happening right now. There's so much happening. Okay. Wait, Shrek 5's coming out? Holy shit. They're detonated. Oh. Boop. The line bends the hacker man is using another person to hack through. Oh, okay. I'm learning. Okay. The more I learn, the less panicky I'll be. I promise. Okay. You just gotta bear with me. Okay. I'm just also taking everything right now because I don't know what's good or what's not good. Oh, well, thank you so much for the sub, gamer. Thank you so much for 3 PlayStations. I'm glad you're enjoying the chaos because oh shit. Oh, they know I'm here. But thank you, gamer. I appreciate that a lot. It's about to get more chaotic, but that's... Wait, there's a camera somewhere, right? No, that's not the camera. Is this the camera? Camera control, turn it off. Oh, they blocked it. Ah! Don't look at me. Can I shoot the camera? Okay, I probably gotta go. You know what? We're just gonna go. It's fine. Everything's fine. If I run really fast, they can't shoot me. Okay? No, stop. No! Oh, shotgun. Yeah! Okay. I'm reloading. Can you be patient, please? Oh, switch to your pistol. It's faster than reloading. Okay. Oh god. Oh shit. Okay. Oh fuck. Okay. Oh shit. Okay, oh fuck. Okay, I need cover. What? Take this. No, stop rebooting my optics. I don't like it. Okay. There's a guy over there. I'm trying to reload my guns as I run.
It's over.
It's fine. Everything's fine. I'm just gonna leave. I'm just gonna skedaddle with you, and it'll be okay. Okay, sometimes you don't have to kill everybody. Sometimes if people are being mean to you at school, all you gotta do is walk away. Walk away! McDonald's! I stole their fucking McDonald's, you bastards! I'm gonna take your Big Mac and I'm gonna take your fucking life! Okay. I'm calm. I'm cool as a cucumber. Okay. What am I doing? I don't play games with dungeons. I'm the Skyrim lady. Give me a big sword, and then I'll start swinging. I don't know what's going on. Oh, that's why my guns are being weird. It's all glitchy. Wait, what? Hold on. Sidewinder. Wait, this looks cool. Smart weapons require a smart link to unlock full potential of their targeting systems. To install one, be sure to visit your trusty Ripper dock. Okay, we'll do that later, because that does look cool. Okay, reload. Who's shooting?
You know who you're messing with?
Just like chill out. Grenade! Did I throw it? I don't. Oh, I'm out of wet. Wait, no. What? Is it because my gun is... I'm being hacked? Is that why my gun's all weird? Is that why it... What? What's happening? Do I have a knife? Is it like Valorant? Can I walk up and just bonk him? Okay, there we go. All right. Hi, Dad. Look at this. Ooh. Ooh. Are you dead? Stop. Okay. Oh, shit. Anything else I can take? Okay, you know, now it's probably not the time to be a loot goblin. Okay. Stop hacking me. I don't like being hacked. It hurts my feelings. I don't know how, FPS. Okay, there you go. Stop being alive. Oh, I need more ammo. I'm gonna run out of ammo. Or actually, no, maybe I'm good. Here, get away from that thing. Stop taking cover. Don't be a pussy. Only I'm allowed to do that. Right, any goodies? Tier 1. I don't know what any of this shit is, but it's all mine. Everything is mine. Okay. Alright, there's something over there. What? What's happening? Shinobi. Oh, I got a skill upgrade. Okay, we're gonna... That was a lot. Everything happened very fast. And I'm not mad about it, but I'm just like, I'm sorry I was very loud. I'm gonna move my mic away now. Okay. Let's take a breather. Everyone inhale. Exhale. Okay, we're chill. We're cool. We're relaxed. Okay, we're very relaxed. Everything's fine. Right, chat? Everything's fine. Okay. Skills. What? Let's see. It kind of reminds me, the way the skills are set up is it kind of reminds me of Payday. Increase RAM recovery rate, movement speed, carrying capacity, armor. I'm probably gonna get hit a lot, so I feel like armor would be a good one to have. How do I unlock the skills? Hold on, let me see. Okay. Wait, what's this? Oh, okay. Hold on. Let's do body. Unlock slow. No, I have that already. Let's do... I'm looking at these. This one. Reflexes is probably good to have. Yeah, I move around a lot. I don't like to stand still, so I think slippery would be good. I would like to do more technical stuff. Instant recharge of health items and grenades after neutral. Ooh, that sounds fun. Okay, we'll do that. 30% health from the final charge of your health item. 15% recharge speed when you only use one charge. Vehicle health. Well, I don't have a vehicle. I like to be cool. We should probably stick with one thing, but I guess we'll just be this game's equivalent of a... Oh, I can't be a stealth archer. Okay, I guess... Okay. Do we just... We have 4 more attribute points, so I guess I'll... Oh. It says... How many do I need for it? 6? Oh, okay. I thought... Oh, okay. Oh, I'm out of these things. What did the attribute points do? How do I... Oh, you do attributes here. Okay. Let's do... What was the other one I wanted? Yeah, okay. I want to be cooler. Make me cooler. And I want to be a stealth archer. Okay, I'm out of perk points still, but that's okay. Okay. Oh, I have street cred. That's cool. Okay. Are we ready to go back into the fray? Okay. We're good. I'm gonna... Oh, cutscene time. Okay. Oh, no, it's not. Okay. Alright. Is there a ladder, or am I just gonna... Yeet! Okay. Wait. Aren't you a not friend? It says they're... Those are probably not friends. Aren't they not friends? Why aren't they red? I'm just gonna run really fast and see what happens. Okay, yep, I was right there. Not friends. Shit. Okay. I didn't know. I wanted to, you know, I tried to see the best in people. That was a fucking bad idea. Okay. Oh, shit. Alright, there we go. Okay. Did I just get an achievement? I got an achievement. Yay. Oh, wait, are you a friend? No, that's Jackie. Oh, I'm stupid. Where's the other guy? Where's he? Here. Show me Uranus. Give it to me. Thank you.
Get out of here.
And he's got something. I got a katana, so that's cool. Alright. I think I am out of carry weight, though, so I'm ready to get the fuck out of here. And, oh, shit. Do I shoot this? Do I shoot that? Is it like Half-Life with the fucking... Do you remember Half-Life 2 when they had the little things pop up and take your picture? Oh, shit. We gotta go. Oh, we gotta go. We gotta go. We gotta go. Wait, is this a friend? Is this a friend? Are you a friend? you guys friends?
Dealing with Maelstrom, huh? Never ends
I
well,
guess
does
they're
it?
friends. Okay.
Looks like you two
Come on,
lucked
V.
out a bit.
Let's get out of here.
What do you want?
And you? Why are you here?
Well, I still don't know who the mole is. I was hoping the Maelstromers would shed some light on it.
I think that's everyone
Yeah.
I killed, so...
I doubt
this-
that.
a
Rather
rough,
tough to get
rough
corpses
day.
to talk.
You'd be surprised. I'm sure I'll manage something.
Oh,
It's
do you
been
have
a
the speak with
pleasure.
dead spell? Because that could work. Here, I'm going to turn my mic volume up just a little bit so I don't make the game quieter. Okay. Well, Jackie, what do you think about that?
V. I wasn't sure we'd walk out in one piece.
Yeah, me neither. We did it, though.
Think we're done. What now?
I had enough for one day, let me tell you.
Yeah, we just started and I'm
Let Dex
exhausted.
know we got his toy for him. Fatso ought to crack open a bottle for us after what we did for him today.
Yeah, I'm
Ahí
inclined to
luego,
agree.
V.
Alright, I'll see you later. I guess we gotta call Dex. How do I call people? Oh, it's calling him for me.
How things looking, Miss V?
Pretty good. I got it.
Got the bot.
And how'd it go? Run into any trouble? And what about the Militech angle?
Sure, of course there was trouble. Royce couldn't have given two shits that you and Brick had shaken on it.
How'd you get him on board? You used the corpo woman?
Met with Stout, managed to strike a deal.
What is this?
Well, well.
Gave me the chip with the scratch for Maelstrom.
So you paid for the flathead with corp cash?
Where's my motorcycle,
No.
by the way? Unrelated,
Decided I
but
could
I
use
want
the
my
Eddies
motorcycle
myself.
back.
And I just
That
grabbed
was
the bot.
fun. I liked
Just like
motorcycle.
Not
Oh,
just.
fast travel.
Had to use violence.
Oh.
You got some balls, Miss V.
I do. Thank you for
What about the
noticing.
meet with Evelyn Parker?
Still on the to-do
Yeah, I
list.
haven't talked to Evelyn yet.
That meet's the only thing that'll get you a chance at grabbing that chip.
Okay.
Parker will be waiting for you at Liz's bar.
That's right. Okay, I remember now. Okay, so we're gonna... I kind of want to go through between 6 p.m. and 6 a.m. What time is it now? How do I see what... 10:29 p.m. So we can go now. But I can also level up. So let's start there. Level 6. Is there anything I can level up? More body. Yay. Okay. And what's the one with the sneaky beaky? Yeah. There we go. Okay. I might end up being more cool. I kind of want to be... The way she looks, I kind of want to make her a stealth lady. I'm kind of just dumping shit in body right now because I don't know what else to do. I do want to go through my inventory a little bit. Can I go home? Like, I have a player home, right? Isn't that a thing? Like I went to my house. Where's my house? Yeah, okay, let's go. Let's go to the fast travel thing. Wait, what? First will come the great reality check, which ushers in the future of the world. Okay, is this gonna be like some super super futuristic chainmail? There we go. Okay. Can I go to my apartment, please? Where is my apartment, deadass? I can't fast travel to it. I think it's over here. My apartment, yeah. Where is my apartment? There it is. Oh, it's actually not that far. Okay, so then we'll just do fast travel. Where'd it go? Because I can't fast travel there. Service point. We'll just go right here. I always forget I have to hold my mouse down. That's what's like fucking me up right now. Okay. Let's see. Translation implant successfully replaced real... Okay, I stuttered. I didn't read fast enough. Alright. It's a very intense montage to fast travel. Okay, here we go. Alright, I want to go because I have like a bunch of stuff. So I want to kind of like go through it and read what everything I picked up does and stash anything I don't need. You know what I mean? So let's go down. Where's my apartment? I think I passed it. That's not my apartment. Oh, okay. It's on this floor, actually. Yeah, so it's right over here. Is this it? Yeah. Okay, cool. Alright, let's go. Let's just look through my inventory, deadass. So, what we got? We got some new guns. What is going on here? Smart Link cyberware required to enable smart targeting. I can't use it yet, but I'm intrigued. I'm intrigued, so we'll hold on to that. What do I have right now in the gun department? Because I thought I had... Yeah, I do have a regular assault rifle still. Let's put away some guns, I think. Where's my armory? Implant on your hand that auto-locks on people. Yeah, where's my gun thing? My thing, I had like a little cool room with all the guns. It was this one, right? Yeah, okay. Let's see, what can I put in my stash? Since when did I have a submachine gun? When? Huh? Okay. Can I not put stuff in there? I also have a katana. So that's cool. No, I want my katana. No, I want my katana. I want my katana. I think they'll be fun. I do not need 3 pistols. Or 2 shotguns. And we'll save this for later. Okay. Clothing. This one's cool. I like this jacket. I want the sleeve jacket, actually. I keep meaning to grab stuff, but then I, like, don't do that. Here. Oh, wait. No, that was in my inventory already. I'm a dumbass. Okay. I think that's good on weapons. Is there anything? What is it? Torn fishnets? I can't wear that? Medical gauze. Okay, so that's junk. Lipstick. Dull scalpel. Okay, so I can sell this shit. At a Dropbox or a vendor. Attachments. Oh. Won't guarantee a shot on a target, but will certainly help. Okay, this is on my medicine. Okay. Protein powder. Oh, shit. Do I just dry scoop some fucking... I love when I want to be funny and then my mouth just fucking cucks me. Do I just dry scoop protein powder and I just start zooming? I mean, I kind of did that. Well, that is what pre-workout is. Oh, you sniff it? Oh. Okay. It's just that's just coffee. That is literally just coffee. Okay. Yeah. All right. Let me go. I want to look at my outfits. I want to be pretty. So let's see what's going on over here. And oh, I like that. I like that. Do I have to wear a shirt? Because I would have been perfectly content just being like tits out like that, bro. That would have been like why am I allowed to just, am I gonna get in trouble if I just like, I kind of want to free the titty, you know? Like this is a look on its own, okay? Do we have any shoes that don't look like ass? Oh yeah. Oh my god. I would absolutely let this woman ruin my life. How are we feeling? Yeah, no, we're good. We don't need... Yeah, because isn't my armor and my actual outfit different? Yeah, so like... Let's put something on for armor. +5 armor. Yeah. Because your outfit's different than your armor, if I recall correctly. I could be just making that the fuck up, though, so... I don't know. Let me see. Is it like I have to set like an outfit? I mean, I guess it doesn't matter that much because I don't see my character, but like I want to. I like this. Okay. I guess we'll just head to Lizzie's then. Is there anything else in my inventory that like yeah, backpack. We have all kinds of components. Yeah, how do I upgrade my weapons? Because I do have some stuff. And it looked like I had an upgrade for my assault rifle. Oh yeah, I have a muzzle. Okay. Well, let's just add that for the hell of it. Do I have anything else I can add to... No? Yeah, I don't have... Yeah, okay. Fuck it, katana. What? Let me take my katana out. I guess I'll just head to the bar though. Can I... With great power comes great responsibility. Okay. Lizzie's bar is right over there, it looks like. So I'm just gonna walk over. Excuse me, don't mind me carrying this big ass gun. I promise I am a good noodle. Doing good noodle things. What's this? Hello? Oh, it's a merchant. What you got for
What
sale?
have you got for sale?
Only top shelf gear.
Okay, can I dump some of my shit? Cause some of this I don't need. Yeah, this shit was ugly. You can have it. Let's see. Yeah, take all my junk. Cause I don't need it. I just picked it up because I don't know what anything is right now. Yeah, I think we're good. We're good. Okay. Alright, let's head over to the bar. We're still within the time, so we should be good. Let's see. Excuse me, I need to go to the elevator. Is this disabled? Entrance? I guess I'm just waiting for it? Yeah, I guess I just gotta wait for it to come up and that'll be okay. Strong variant Vietnamese coffee. I've never tried. I'm not really a coffee fan. I'm more of a tea person. You know, do you guys drink coffee
The
or do you
proposed
drink
base
tea?
will be
Do you drink
subdivided into 3 areas:
services I got
industrial, scientific, and residential.
Oh,
10
services?
residential modules are already
Oh, no, we're on
available for
services right
purchase.
now. Okay, I
at a
guess we'll go to
starting rate
entrance.
Of 100 million euro dollars. A hefty
100
price, yes.
million
But
euro
can you
dollars.
truly put a price on your security?
But yeah, I feel like I
In
mostly
Mexico
drink
and
like
Oklahoma, a new
tea
bout of
nowadays. I used to
unrest
drink a
has
lot of hot
erupted
tea,
in
and
the
honestly I
wake
need to
of
get back on it
suicide
because it's good for my
blasts
throat.
at US bases. President Myers has openly blamed the Republic of
Okay, yeah, we're in the
Texas
right.
for
We're in the right
attacks.
spot. So
In
we'll
a
take
swift
the.
reprisal,
How
U.S.
far is
forces
it?
carried out a series of bombings
Let's see. Yeah, it's still not that far. So we'll just walk over.
airports
It's fine.
in Wellington
I'm
and
not.
El
Listen,
Paso.
say what you want about Night City, but it's walkable. You know, it like, yeah, there's drugs and hookers and gangs and pretty much every other vice under the sun, but it is walkable. Huh? You good? Did someone just scream for no reason? I'm sure it's nothing. I'm gonna mind my business. That's what we've learned, okay? I mind my business, okay? Hookers are legal. Oh, good for them. Good for them. It says 320. Well, I can run. Excuse me, excuse me, excuse me, excuse me. I got places to be. Excuse me, excuse me. Yeah, I had a motorcycle, although I stole it. But I don't know. I need to figure out how to buy a vehicle. And like, is there a way to keep track? Like, is it? Oh shit. Is it like GTA where like I get a vehicle and I get like a garage or something? Because I will lose my vehicle. Like it's the same shit as horses in Skyrim. Push V. Oh. Ow! Let's fucking go. Let's fucking go. Okay. All right. Welcome to Ubu Jobber. I'm your driver at EB Games. Where are we going? Here at EV Games Ubu Jobber, we think of speed limits as speed suggestions because we don't like to use labels. Excuse me. Oh my god, you're so slow. Can I honk? I want to honk the horn. Is there a horn I can... Shit. Sorry. I was just memeing. I was memeing. Oh wait, I'm going the wrong way. I got so distracted by that car being annoying, I drove the wrong way. Hi, Shady. Welcome, big gamer. Okay, come here. There we go. Okay. All right, we're not gonna miss the turn this time, right? Here, let me just scoot past you real quick. Oh wait, this is also the wrong way. Oh, okay. Oh, excuse me. Let me just squeeze past you real quick. Let me just. Oh no! No! I tried to find the book.
Disorderly conduct reported in Watson.
Oh no! I didn't mean to mow down that pedestrian. No! I'm just trying to find a way to park. Excuse me. Excuse me. Excuse me. You know, fuck the car. Actually, fuck the car. It's fine. It's fine. No. Water under the bridge. It's fine. Everything's fine. Yeah, it's fine. It's fine. We're good. We're good. Have we been to this club before? Is this the one we went to at the beginning? Oh, hey.
Interest you in a preem BD?
What does that mean? Sure.
Sure. In I go.
Hold it. House
I
rules
don't know what a
first.
preem
There will
BD
be
is,
severe
but
penalties for any unauthorized recording. No drugs, no groping.
wait, is it like a BDSM
Someone
club?
catch your eye? You do not grab them. You find them in the catalog, ask for a BD, and
What's
get
a
yourself
BD?
box.
I really look that green to you.
What,
Like
what's
I don't
a BD?
Mm-hmm. Doors open.
What's a BD?
Have
Ooh,
fun, doll.
neat.
Welcome to Lizzie.
Brain dance. Oh, you can watch porn and it's like VR. Well, hold on. Before I do the quest, I'd like to explore a little bit. Fuck to death. Oh hell yeah! Ever see Sal? I don't think I have. Hi Jolly, welcome in. Sorry if I missed anyone's name, by the way. Things were a little chaotic at the beginning. Yeah, I'll do other shit, but I wanna. Here, I'll ask about Evelyn later. How do I have sex? You're cute. Excuse me, I want to talk to a pretty lady. Hi.
I'm off the clock, hon.
Oh, okay. There's no sex here? That's so fucked up. Then why am I here then?
What you're into. Maybe you can tell me about
She looks like she's having the time of her life. Oh!
Hey, another round over here.
Is that? Oh.
So, what can a horny girl like me do for a hungry guy like you?
Oh, girly is feeling it. Okay. Damn. Okay. I sex later. Okay. I sex later then. Wait. What about? Hey. Wait. What about you? Hey. Can I talk to her? Can I talk to them? You're okay.
Hey.
She's mine now. Let me have her. I'm looking for Evelyn.
Looking for Evelyn Parker. Know if she's here?
Who's asking?
Name's V.
Name's V. She and I have a date.
Well, V, it's a pleasure. I'm Mateo.
Yeah, any waifu we share. Okay,
So,
sharing is caring.
Club's big. Gonna have to look around. Can't do it for you.
It's all right, Mateo.
Oh, hi. I was wondering who the girl in between her was, but you kind of have fucked up bangs, but nobody's perfect.
Evelyn Parker.
She's kind of got shadow heart bangs. Like I say that affectionately, but like, ooh, tequila. Yes, please. Oh shit! Oh, we're down in it. Don't throw up again.
Only tequila I drink. How would you know?
I like to know everything about the people I work with. Either that or it was just a lucky guess.
Why me here?
Why are we meeting here? Any
The
particular
girl between
reason?
is mine and mine only. Well,
Actually,
that's
it
too
doesn't
fucking
seem
bad
much
because
like
I'm about to
your thing,
swoop in.
this place.
None of your women are safe from me.
I'll take that as a compliment.
No women in general are
No
safe
place
from
we can
me.
talk where ears won't prick up to listen.
If you're nice to me and you're pretty, I will want to kiss you on the
We'll be in
mouth.
the lounge, Mateo. If anyone asks, we're not here.
Okay. Where we going? To the VIP room.
You'll feel
Nothing's wrong. Really?
Why don't you just tell me the truth?
Oh wait, I want to know their
I just
tea.
told you.
What's going on? I wanted to know the tea.
V.
Ooh. Cyber stripper.
Dex had a load to say about you. Professional, effective, and trustworthy. I hope he wasn't overselling.
I'm the best.
I'm good at what I do. Got a solid crew at my back, too. Never once botched a job.
You do realize I expect more of you than scraping street corner data terms. Much, much more.
I'm the best, and I know what I'm getting
Listen,
into.
I want to
clear.
know the tea,
The
okay?
job's
I want to
high-risk.
know everything. I love hearing about people's drama. Bro, when we were at the Renaissance Festival,
By the way,
there
you
was
work
this
together
couple
long?
that was arguing
You and Dex?
next to us. And I just sat there in silence because I think David had like gone off to go here, let me pause while I tell the story. David had gone off to go do something else, but there was this couple arguing, and it was like the girl was like, well, you're just making me feel really bad about myself. And the guy was like, well, you make me feel really bad about myself when you change your Facebook status to it's complicated on Facebook and not text me for 3 days. And I was like, but like David was, and he came back and he's like, okay, let's go. And I didn't want to be weird, so I was just like, okay. And we started walking, and I told him, I was like, David, I was listening to their argument. I wanted to know what happened, but it sounded like kind of intense, low-key. But I wanted to know. All right. I just started working with him.
Just started working with him, in fact.
I've heard there are two kinds of fixers. Those with stable crews on long contracts and short leashes. Loyalty and predictability.
I think
they
I said this
value
the other
above
day,
all
but this is
else.
what I mean by like the idea
And
of
there's the other
smoking
kind.
is sexy. You know,
Dex's
like if I was in this real life situation, I would probably want to throw up. Cigarette smoke makes me want to throw up, but this is a video game and I can't smell it, and I'm like, damn, that's kind of sexy. Hi, JK, welcome. Let's talk business.
Laddie,
Sorry.
cut to the chase. What do you got for me?
Your target. I trust you know what it is.
No.
Relic.
Oh.
Secure your soul trinket.
We do know. Okay.
Key tech in the program, actually. We're tangling with Arasaka. Making this heist one dangerous, risky motherfucker.
Mm-hmm. Arasaka's poured billions into personality transfer technology. But me, I
See,
just
that's the
hope
thing,
they
is
don't
like
on
when I
this
see
one.
cigarettes in media,
The
I'm
chip
like,
is
oh my
tucked away
god, he's
inside
smoking.
Konpeki
That's so
Plaza
hot. But
Hotel.
then like in real
You
life,
ever
I'm
been?
like, you know? I'm familiar. I'm a corpo cunt. I know what's up.
Arasaka seems to have quite the touch with that hotel chain. But I gotta say, Konpeki and Tokyo's still leagues above the rest.
The two are identical to each other.
Japan's staff. The service can't be beat. Singapore, Paris, Washington. Ugh, all the rest act like charity case cousins by comparison.
Well, it's hard to argue with that. True.
So where's this chip hiding, exactly?
In a suite on the top floor. The room's occupied by Yorinobu Arasaka.
Yorinobu Arasaka. In Night City? Huh. Guess the scream sheets weren't lying this time.
I'm like using my brain.
It's on the
Hold
lips of everyone in the city.
I'm thinking.
Saburo Arasaka's only surviving son, heir apparent to the Arasaka Empire, in town.
Am I killing that guy?
Please.
Oh
Could
shit.
it be? Emperor's prepared to cede his throne after 150 years? Doubt it.
Only a handful of people in Night City know what the Arasaka's real plans are.
Telling me you're one of them?
Yeah, this guy's gotta have like an army around him.
Top dog like Yorinobu's bound to have an army on call. Hotel's probably a goddamn fortress by now, too.
Yorinobu keeps exactly no hustle around.
Why?
Not one guard. Got rid of them a long time ago.
Huh. Why is that?
Surely you know what they say about Arasaka intel.
No.
Sneeze in Night City, and a blossom drops from a cherry tree in Tokyo. Yorinobu was convinced his Arasaka security detail reported directly to his father.
What else you got?
Look, if you've got any spare aces up your sleeve, now's the time to show them.
Now this should make your tits perk up.
Oh, my tits are perked.
Yorinobu recently swiped the chip from an Arasaka laboratory. He's made a deal with Netwatch, aims to sell it to them. Have you spotted my ace yet, or do I need to spell
I got
things
the
out?
autism lady. Please spell it out. What's going on?
Fine. So no Arasaka security on the device because Yorinobu whisked it away in secret. Now where's he hiding it?
The walls used to be white, not yellow. I
Likely
hate
in
the
a
comment.
specialized
Yeah.
container. One that
That,
mimics an
yeah.
organic
I had a
neural
friend that had a
environment.
few like
On the outside, it looks
who were like in a
like an
similar
ordinary
situation. I
briefcase.
always felt really bad for
And the
them.
case is?
That always sucks though, because it's like
You'll see
you
for
can't
yourself
do
soon
anything about it, you know?
Provided
it's
we're
just
done
kinda like,
gossiping
well,
about the Arasakas.
shit, you know? I'm sorry
Okay,
though, Gaming.
what's next?
Because that stinks.
Now comes the best part.
What
Follow
happens
me.
now?
Got something for you. Should help you plan. Brain dance from Konpeki Plaza.
Huh?
How's a brain dance supposed to help? Need facts, not
Wait,
thrills.
I'm getting sex? Oh.
Think BDs are only good for fondling virtual tits?
Yeah.
Jacking off to in those boxes?
Yeah.
No. It can be a very useful tool. Good for analyzing details human perception, even boosted, doesn't grasp. Exactly what you need.
So what's on the tape?
Yorinobu's suite. The glorious interior.
I wanted sex.
You'll need to
but
locate the
this'll
relic
do, I
yourself.
guess.
Hope I grabbed enough detail to make that possible.
Hold up. Mean to see you recorded
Oh,
this?
so we're like doing a trial of the
BD
heist.
rec
Okay.
implant. Why, you object?
Nope.
No, not at all. Let's see this brain dance.
Judy'll help. She's a Mox, too. Besides, we go back, years.
Oh.
V, this is important. Judy's always been there for me. Always helped out. I trust her. But she's a Mox, not the latest member of your crew. Try not to forget.
Okay.
So you'll be a good girl, tread lightly, and keep that tongue on a leash.
Relax. Believe it or not, I'm no stranger to tact. In biz or life.
Okay.
Hey, there you are.
Oh, this was the hottie from
This is
before.
V. She's here for that BD role. And V, this is Judy.
I will be a good
Best
girl.
brain dance editor I know.
I will be a good
Enough
girl.
already. Gonna make me barf.
Hey, Judy.
Hey, Judy. Compiled your BDF.
What do you think? Will it do?
Still pretty raw, but yeah, ought to do.
Mm-hmm. V needs to get deep inside.
I need to
That's
get
most
deep
of-
inside.
So, let's calibrate. Tune it to her.
Oh, oh. Do I get in the
Believe me,
chair?
I dealt with worse. Should see the jig street porn we gotta contend with sometimes.
The what now?
So, we drop V inside? Let her look, let her rummage around, right?
How about it, V? Raw brain dance. Ever taken a dip before?
I have. I think I can take it.
Think I can handle it. Let's just do this. Righto. Sit down, settle in, and we'll get you going.
Okay. Oh, that's right. Hi. Where's the tits?
Gotta create your sensory profile first.
What? A what?
A what profile now? A model of your perceptions and emotional responses. Need to adjust that so the raw BD won't overwhelm you.
Okay.
If I don't, best case scenario, you'll get nauseous as soon as you're in. Probably barf like you would in a shoddy virtue
I mean, that's what we did last time.
Hmm. And worst case? Your synapses sizzle like locusts in a deep fryer.
Oh.
We're not about to let that happen.
Well, thank you. Well, profile away.
Okay, hit
Thank
me.
you for the yeet, Doug Fishy.
Just promise me it won't hurt. It won't.
I can't even get mad at getting yeeted. I'm still just thinking about
Now,
tits.
sit still. Look at me.
Can I get with
Run the
Evelyn?
analysis soft.
Because apparently,
Feel a
it sounds like what
slight
you guys are saying is Judy's romanceable,
Mm-hmm.
but the way she like called me a good girl, I was like, whoa, whoa.
Okay, now let's set
Like,
the optics and
mommy?
other sensory sigs.
Mommy?
Look smack into these two screens.
Oh
Pretend
shit.
It's an eye
Oh,
exam.
I don't. Okay. Hey, you do this often?
Get a lot of requests like this.
She's not. That's fucked
all
up.
the time. But it's usually stuff the girls scroll at the club. I take that and do some routine porn tuning. Crank up the orgasms. More like cut out all the other shit.
Oh.
Fucking's business as usual for these guys. Their minds wander to grocery lists, spouses' birthdays, late bills, whatever.
I don't
Even
think that's
then,
just a
you
guy
can
thing.
refigure
Because there's a lot of
things,
people
mold
I
the
know that like
emotions into
have
something
told me
new,
that like while they're
unforgettable.
fucking, they'll just start thinking
So,
about random shit.
I can't complain.
Like even like me and David
more
have
sec.
talked about it,
Get
and
the
it's like I
pain
don't
or
take
something
offense to
every
it, but like sometimes it's just like you're
Okay.
going at it, and then you might
All
start
set.
thinking about like
We need
spaghetti,
to test your
and you're
profile
like, damn,
first.
like
Toss me
like
in a
there have been.
sample BD. can use it
I
to
should
get to
shut
know
up
the
now.
editor.
Welcome to the stream!
Now let me see. Where could we?
Welcome to the stream. I'm
you
about
just
to
use
do
my
a brain
recording?
dance.
Why are we wasting time?
So we
If I was
don't
playing
risk
this
our
in
necks?
VR though, the little flashy
won't
light
be
would
sick.
fuck with
Got
me.
something here.
But welcome in,
Should
Dad.
be perfect.
Welcome in. Okay, let's do it.
Boot it up.
Mm-hmm.
Let me give you the tailored version first. Let you get your bearings. Then we'll jump into editing mode.
Editing
Be
mode?
diving in and
I like that. Ugh.
Plan simple. Do nothing odd. Don't get creative. You go in, snatch the cash, get out. And we sell the BD to those psycho freaks from the studio.
Got it,
What's happening?
And remember, everything on full blast. They'll spot us extra for a wicked adrenaline high. Okay, on you go.
On I go. I guess. Okay, gun.
Down, everybody! On the ground! I want to see you kissing the flooring! Money! Now! Or I will
This
fucking
is not the
drop
type
you, I
of.
swear to God!
This is not
Whoa,
porn.
yeah,
This is
now,
not what I would
before I
jack
blow your
off to.
fucking head
But hey, different strokes for different folks. Some people like being tied up. Some people like robbery. You know, like. What the fuck was that?
slow, deep breaths. Your cortisol and adrenaline spiked.
You're
but the
experiencing
salt
everything this
activated
guy
your
did.
hormone blockers.
Oh,
Nothing
okay.
happened. You're alive and well.
Could have warned me that I was gonna be doing a fucking robbery.
A flash of intense shock. I can still
Yeah,
feel
and
it.
I fucking died.
remember. Fuck. That last second. Could have warned me how much it hurts to die. Trust me, real death hurts much, much more. Not so sure about that.
Damn. Okay.
You'll be fine. Got everything set up? Let's
So
switch over
what
to
is
editing
what do
mode.
we do with editing mode? I like the red light. Okay.
I'll sever the link to the BD roller's sensory array. You'll be able to look around freely. Whole scene's yours. Full cam control in analysis mode, so move around, zoom in and out, whatever else you come up with. Think of it as your own little sandbox. So analysis mode, you control playback. Can even pause when you feel
Is Braindance not like a Total
Then you
Recall?
use the editor
I actually don't
console
know
to
because I don't know what
unpause.
Total Recall.
Try
But
it.
basically, it's like a movie that you watch, but you feel everything, right? So most of the time, it sounds like in this universe it's used for porn because it, you know. But now I'm using it for solving crime. I have never seen Total Recall. Is it good? I'll have to add it to my watch list. I have so much shit to watch. But no, I've never seen it. Okay, so I guess,
Plan simple. Do nothing odd. Don't
I
get
don't like
creative.
how they're all
You go
cubes.
in,
The cubes
snatch
are
the
kind of
cash,
fucking
get
weird.
out. And we sell the BD to those psycho freaks from the studio.
Got it.
Dream as hell, right? Well, that's not all. You can speed things up or rewind, whatever you like. Give it a try.
Oh, cute.
Rewind.
Got it.
Roll it back to the top.
This is
All good.
trippy.
Neat. Now try fast forwarding a bit.
Plan simple. Do nothing odd. Don't
Whee!
create. You go in, snatch the cash, get out. Studio.
Got it.
Okay. You can also reset the recording. That'll take you right back to the beginning.
Experiencing the memories of someone else. Essentially, yeah.
Now for some fun. This here's why you came in the first place. In analysis mode, you get to view and even scan details of the enviro recorded by the BD roller. Focus on the heat, the gun this gonk gets from his buddy at the beginning. Now scan it.
Only scan.
Plan simple. Do nothing odd. Don't
It's
get creative.
perceivable.
You go in, snatch the cash, get out. And we sell the BD to those psycho freaks from the studio.
Got it.
And remember, everything on full blast. They'll spot us extra for a wicked adrenaline
Where's
high.
the gun?
Okay, on you go.
Okay,
This thing.
right here.
Scannable clue. Clue will be highlighted for the duration of the sequence if the editor is set to the correct layer. Clues may overlap each other. The spot where they overlap on the recording check will be especially bright. After being successfully scanned, clues will be disappear from track. Oh, my leg! Well, thank you so much for hanging out, gamer. I appreciate it.
Excellent. Let's move on.
Okay.
Now heads up. In analysis mode, you can ferret out background noise and conversations if the roller got close enough. This tech records everything, every little detail, even the sights and sounds the roller was never aware of.
Damn.
To see the sources of the recorded sensory signals, switch to the audio layer in the editor. Go ahead and try that now. Okay, good. Now you should see several sound signatures in the store.
So this is
Choose
like the
one and hone in on
AC.
Okay. Fuck! Little shitheads. Go restock. I'll take the register. How about you suck a bag of dicks, eh?
Oh.
So, any thoughts?
Unbelievable. Seriously, like it was happening right next to me.
Yeah, it's how BD recording implants work. They pick up everything.
That's
all
crazy.
these elements in the background. Then an editor tweaks them, makes them pop. Keep playing with the sound, explore it a bit. We'll move on when you get bored.
This is wild. Okay, what about this one?
Down, everybody! On the ground! Want to see you kissing the flooring?
Okay.
Sometimes you can analyze extra layers in the raw. Stuff the roller's cyberware picked up.
Like what?
Ev's got Kiroshi optics that grab infrared, meaning you should be able to grab heat signatures from her recording.
Huh. Hella nice.
Damn.
Now let's wait till the guy punches out the gunk at the counter.
Money!
Scanning works on peeps, too. Walk up to the wounded chick. Try scanning her. Alright, next thing. Scroll forward to the part where our artist gets a lead injection.
Okay.
Now, or I will fucking drop you, I swear to God! Whoa! Yeah, hey! Now! Before I blow your fucking head off!
See that? They shot him and he never saw it coming.
For some reason, it happened so fast. I thought the shopkeeper shot him. Hi,
My
Vader!
favorite part of the game. See the blinking thing over the entrance? Surveillance cam. Must have caught our shooter. You'll see in a sec.
Oh, yeah, I had no
Cam
idea how
points
he
to the
died.
screen
I thought like
behind
the
clerk.
shopkeep like pulled a
Go
gun
back
out
to
or
where
something.
The screen's in the kid's field of vision, then scan it.
Okay. It was R to rewind, right? No. What button was it to rewind? I don't remember. Yeah, I genuinely don't remember. Oh, here, cute. I see. The CCTV screen. Yeah, right here. Okay. What has it got for me? Who's that?
His own Chumba shot him.
That's so
Probably
fucked
planned to
up.
all along.
Betrayed by a
slice of
Chum.
cred on the black market for a BD like this. BD freaks are ready to pay a preem for a real flatline.
Huh?
Anyway, if you've seen enough,
Like,
you can exit.
What? Is she saying that like people get off on dying? I mean, relatable. No. Oh, thank you, Vader. In terms of playstyle, I'm gonna be honest, I have no fucking idea. I'm thinking something stealth-based, but I also like going loud a lot. This is my first playthrough, and I'm completely blind. I have no idea what the fuck's going on.
Yeah, it's impressive,
I
right?
feel bad because I'm usually really talking during stream, but there's a lot of times where I'm just like,
only good for flogging the
because
law.
it's so much information, and the
Anyway, you
game's
ready to
very
do this?
sensory,
Look
like,
at your rec.
pop, 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 pop,
I
but
don't
not
know,
necessarily in a bad way, you know?
Ugh,
There's just so much
take a break.
happening.
Still feel like that kid when...
What?
Yeah, think I'm done.
V, there's no time. Get it together, please.
Okay.
Yes, mommy.
Go ahead. Just need T-Bug to link in. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Who? Runner for my crew. Security specialist. She'll tell me what to look for while we analyze. No problem, I hope.
Actually, it is a problem.
Oh.
Not what we agreed, Ev.
You can trust her.
Judy, T-Bug's a professional. Discreet to a fault. You can trust her.
Why? 'Cause you say so?
Yeah.
Please, Judy.
Pretty please?
I'd never expose you to any danger. You know that.
Okay, V. Call T-Bug and we'll dive in.
Boop. Hi, T-Bug.
Hey, V, what's happening?
Bug, listen. I got some useful footage from Konpeki
There's a lot
Plaza.
of hidden stuff in this
It's
game.
a brain dance.
I don't know if I would necessarily call it
Konpeki?
hidden,
Oh,
but there's a
not
lot
as
like
much.
happening. You
Someone
know?
there with you?
Judy and Evelyn.
Judy and Evelyn. They're chill. for helping me work through this, BD.
Uh-huh. All right. You gonna tell me what this is about?
Listen, need your help.
But that's
Got
also
no
the thing
clue
is with
what to look
Skyrim,
for
I
once
kind
I'm
of
in.
usually like just talk over the story because I played it so many times.
Jacking into your
But like I've never played this game before, so I'm like I don't know what the fuck's going on. I gotta pay attention. There have already been times where I'm like I don't know what's happening. Have you played the Cyberpunk board game? I have not, but my boyfriend has the core rulebook for the tabletop RPG.
Got it.
We
You
just
ready?
need to find people to play it with, honestly. So we're hoping that maybe we can get some of our friends to play it because it looks really cool, and he's read the rulebook cover to cover.
Ready to dance.
But
Fire up,
most
Judy.
of the people we play tabletop RPGs with are like fantasy people. And we already have one campaign going on, so I don't know if we'd be able to add two, you know? Okay. Ooh.
Gotta find out where your
Wait,
nose
Bougie, did you see that? Oh, hi TIG, welcome in gamer. Thank you so much for liking my TikToks. Welcome to the
You look like a cut of fuckable meat.
What the fuck?
She.
What happened to
felt her
hello?
fear.
What happened to
Sure
how
got it under
are
control
you?
Quick too.
I said no.
Oh,
They'll have my
what the fuck?
Then you
Wait,
should
wait,
perish for a good
welcome! Jesus.
cause. Make yourself comfortable. I need a minute to.
Listen in on that conversation, V.
Oh, okay, alright, shit. What happened to how are you? Okay, where's the audio layer? How do I switch layers again? Shift, that's right, okay. There we go. Thank you for the eat, Jolly. Okay, this one? This conversation, or was there a different one?
Finish.
This one,
We
right?
shall see soon enough.
I need a minute to finish.
The program is still in the trial phase. We cannot take it to market
Oh,
as
thank you for the
is.
hydrate, Jolly.
We shall see soon enough.
Please speak with your father. He's taken a particular interest in this project. He can certainly explain the
Oh,
My
reasons.
there's a
father's a tired, visionless old graybeard.
The graybeard?
Who thinks nothing will change, and he'll live forever in his tiny, frozen bubble.
I should not even be listening to such things.
You will listen to this. Saburo is an adult despot.
I don't want to leave the
utterly
raid.
removed from reality. Stuck in some fossilized vision of
Scan
a
the
world
security
that no longer
systems.
exists. Of a world that
Okay, here we
may
go. Now we're
never
back.
have existed.
The little thingy
We
dropped
have
out, but now it's
seen eye
back.
to eye for the past 20 years. I am quite sure.
Got some serious vocal fry going on. We
Read
have
the
not seen eye
documentation
to eye.
carefully. The relic requires specific storage conditions. You
I'm
must
trying to
know.
listen.
Heard that? Relic docs gotta be around here somewhere. Look for them.
Okay. Alright, let's go back to the visual layer? Yeah. Scan the data pad while it's turned on. Here, let me restart. Where's the data pad? Yeah, because that's Evelyn, right?
You look like a cut of fuckable meat. Are you?
Her fucking face, she's just like, damn, that's crazy. Okay. So, security systems, there's something up here. Motion sensor camera.
Shit, camera's packed with new tech. Motion sensors, heat sig activators, IFF.
Anything else
You
I
skilled
can
enough to
scan?
kill it all?
Mucho more.
I have
than
not
that.
watched the anime yet either.
Just need
That's the thing is,
access
when I
to
say
their
I'm going in blind, I mean like blind is a fucking bad. I haven't played the game. I haven't played the tabletop RPG. I haven't watched the anime. I don't know shit. But I'm hoping that I really like it so far. So I'm probably gonna watch the anime once I'm a little bit more deeper into the game. So like I'm getting there, but we are raw dogging this game. Is there anything? Well, I guess we'll let her walk over.
No.
He'll have my head for this.
Then you shall perish for
Yeah,
a
when he
good
says
cause.
data pad, is it the phone? That's just his phone, right? What's the data pad?
But
Make yourself comfortable. I need a minute to finish.
The program is still
Yeah, that's
in the
the
trial
phone.
phase. We cannot take it to market as is.
We shall see soon enough.
Please speak
Yeah, where's
with your
the
father.
data pad? What am I
He's
even
taken
looking
a
for? What's a
particular
data
interest
pad?
in this project. He can
Like an
certainly
iPad?
explain the risks.
Because sometimes when they
father's
say data pad, they mean phone.
Visual
But
is
like I already
all
got
three.
his phone, didn't I? Oh, data? Yeah, we got that already.
A beard who thinks nothing will change, and he'll live forever.
Anime happens a little
in
bit
his
before the game
tiny,
picks up, but it's not prequel.
frozen bubble.
Oh, okay.
I should not even be listening.
Yeah,
to
because
such
I asked
things.
David, because he's seen the anime. I was like, should I watch this anime
Saburo is
before I
an
play it? And
adult
he said
despot.
no.
Utterly removed from reality.
Yeah, I'm just like,
Stuck
look.
in
Oh,
some
shit.
fossilized vision of a world that no longer
Is this
exists.
the data pad? No, what? What? Something popped up for a second. Cactus?
Of a world that may never.
Yeah, the
have
data pad's on his
existed.
phone, right?
We have
Am I
not
stupid?
seen eye to eye for the past 20 years. I am quite sure we want now.
Read the documentation carefully. The relic requires specific storage conditions. You must
Noted.
provide them.
Enough. Sorry to make you wait. Business can be stupid.
It wasn't long. Not even long
Oh!
for me to grow bored. Is everything alright?
Whoa!
You seem tense. Edgy.
Whoa.
A moment.
I don't think I'm supposed to be watching this.
I can get to work on that. Just one condition.
You wish to make demands of me.
Only one. Focus on me.
Oh, damn.
Oh, got in the kit.
Wait, that's the data pad?
We left. Stuff was pretty fun last time.
Bedroom. Nightstand.
I've got an idea.
Yeah, they fucking. Hi, Cupcake. Where'd he go? Oh, shit. Ooh.
Very nice.
Very
Come
nice.
here already.
Just a sec. Looking for the perfect thing. Ah, you'll like this.
Yeah, I feel like I'm not supposed to be watching this. This feels invasive. There it is. Oh, that's a gun.
Loaded. Safety's on. Good to know, though. Once you're in there, don't forget about that iron.
Where's that fucking data pad? Oh, wait. There it is.
Manual details a special tip-controlled container. Relic needs to be kept real cool.
Okay.
So Chip's gotta stay in the
I don't
freezer.
think this is gun responsible.
Yep,
I'm
good
gonna be
damage
honest.
Okay, switch on thermal layer detection in the
Like, it's
editor.
just chilling.
Should be easier to spot where your Nobu's keeping the chip.
Okay. Whoa. So, it should be somewhere. It says it has to be kept cool, right? Mr. Yorinobu, do you have a freezer? You got like an indoor fridge? Well, maybe we'll have to go back. I also want to know what happens. Oh, shit.
Warui kome. I miss this. You.
Ah. Hey. Alrighty. Let's rewind. And let's actually, we don't need to go that far, but let me switch to thermal. Here. How do I accidentally, here, editing mode, that's what I need. Okay. Shift. I want to look more at the, yeah, what's going on over here? If it was Miss Boss, I'd be pointing the other way. Yeah, what's over here? Hi, buds! Are you winning? No, I'm stupid.
You shall perish for
Trying to
good cause.
wait, is that?
But
Make yourself comfortable.
Champagne and ice
I
bucket.
need a minute
Yeah, is
to
it in there?
finish.
The program is still in the trial phase. We cannot take it to market as is.
We shall see soon enough.
Oh, Donaghys. Looks like Mr. Arasaka had something to celebrate.
Well, damn.
Really think you'll find the chip in there?
I mean, the man doesn't
No
own
way.
a refrigerator,
Chip's
it
too low
looks
to
like.
fluctuate.
This part's really
Let's
bad
try,
for
though.
new beginners. Yeah, couple that with the fact that I'm a fucking moron. Because I'm just like, it's like, oh, well, it's gotta be kept somewhere cold. You got a refrigerator? Is your refrigerator running?
Please speak with your father.
Let's see. Oh, what's over here? Hidden
Right,
safe.
Grab the heat sig. Matches the spec in the docs.
Okay. So this man doesn't have a
got the case
refrigerator,
here.
but he has a hidden
Guaranteed.
safe?
Mm-hmm. You got it. Good work. Looks like we got everything
That's
we need.
weird.
Quit out of the editor.
Okay. That actually wasn't hard. I did it. I don't know how the fuck I did, but I did. So, yippee!
Get everything you need?
Yeah,
Yep.
maybe
That'll
maybe
do
a little
it.
too much. I think we got
Thanks,
too
Judy.
much, honestly.
We got it. Later, T-Bug.
Nice work today. See you soon.
Bye bye.
I'll wipe the cache on your data. You were never here.
Okay. I was actually impressed. I didn't mean to be a big brain gamer. I was just like, I like looking at things, and then I found the thing, so it worked out. I feel like that's like the exact
I'll put it on
opposite of how
F
shit like
tab.
this usually goes. I fully
Portable
expected
device
to
for
spend like
handling
half an hour on
BDs.
that.
I already uploaded your
Like
calibration settings.
once Dad said that this is not
Not as
good for
sophisticated
beginners,
as
I
what
was
we
like,
got
oh, it's
here,
Jover.
but
It's
she's
so
doing the
fucking
trick.
Jover.
And it keeps you out of harm's way. Clever.
Speaking of harm's way, know what I see looking at you?
What?
Walking, talking corpses.
Huh? We needed that.
We needed that recording, Judy. BD practically does our job for us.
The BD will be the death of us. Seriously.
Why you say
If
that?
Arasaka finds out you have it, you're dead. I'm dead.
Well, yeah, it does have him
Judy,
getting some
relax.
sloppy on there, so I can understand why
No.
he
Evelyn,
wouldn't be a fan of
please.
that.
No shortcuts. You go
Look
that
at her
route,
fucking nails,
city
dude.
will
Holy
always
shit.
win. So be
That's
careful.
the cuntiest shit I've ever
Of
seen.
course I will be. Besides, we'll talk in a bit.
All right. Okay. So,
Let's walk.
all right. Oh, shoot.
Well, what do you think?
What do you mean, what do I think? Are you sure everything's under control?
Intel on Yorinobu, the chip, the BD from Konpeki. Winds right. Plan's perfect. A job like this comes 1 in a million.
Thanks. Now the punchline, please.
Oh, Jesus.
Just sounds too good to be true. What's the catch?
Cold feet. Are you looking to get out of it?
No.
I want to know if you're really in control here. That you're not sending me into the sort of shit I can't wait out of.
V, I have 0 reasons to haze you.
I think sending
We're
me
in
into
this
a
together.
death trap is a
Really.
little bit more
Trust me
intense than
that
like
I got
hazing. Like hazing's not great, but like you don't die when, well, actually, never mind. Fair point.
V,
will they tie
I'm
you to
not
the
worried.
heist?
Arasaka will
I
flag and
hate when
screen
they like
anyone
yell at
who's
you
had
for not
dealings with
answering wrong,
Yorinobu.
like fast enough. It's like,
Oh,
girl,
they have a
I'm
long list,
reading.
then. Packed full of big names. Much bigger than mine. You tell me who they check first. Corpo hotshots and cutthroats? Or a little bedroom plaything like me?
Don't degrade yourself. What's the connection to Yorinobu?
Think I see how you know so much about Yorinobu.
It's simple. Men like pillow talk a bit too much.
So it's
damn.
just about the sex.
Biz. And biz only.
Okay. You don't think he'll suspect anything?
You're sure Yorinobu doesn't expect this kind of move from you?
He's got no idea. Trust me. He's too busy with Netwatch to give me that kind of attention. Besides, even if some
But your
suspicion
website says
takes
to
root
check
in his
Discord for
mind,
voice lessons.
it
Oh,
shouldn't matter.
yeah. So there's two
He won't react
different
in time.
Discords. There's the
that's
stream
something you'll
Discord,
handle.
and there's my business Discord. So I think the business Discord, if you scroll down on the panels, it'll say Evie's Music Studio, and that should give
what
you
now?
a link for them. But then also the
V,
Discord listed in like the regular links of the
do this
stream is
job
my
for
stream
me.
Discord. So there's my stream
need me
Discord,
alone.
which is for
No splitting the
sillies
payout with
and
anyone else.
big Skyrim
no
tits,
middlemen.
and then there's my
No
voice
decks.
lesson Discord, which is my job. So there's two. Yeah. So I mean, originally I thought about only having one,
If
but
I
like
agree, they'll be held
I
to pay.
figured
for
crossing my job as
I
a
know.
music teacher, I'll be at a music
Whatever you
teacher
decide
for VTubers.
stays between
I
us.
figured crossing my job with
offer
my love of
50%.
big Skyrim tits.
Eddie's enough to do whatever the hell
Maybe
you like.
not the best idea.
I'll be
Now
finished.
that being said, there are
Dex won't forgive
students
a
of
dirt
mine
move like this.
who watch my
Dex
stream.
isn't the only fixer in town. But my
So like they're
offer's the
not
only
like
one you'll ever
unaware
get.
that I'm
Let me
insane.
think about it.
Like they know, you know, they know what they're getting.
If you
They
need me,
know,
call.
but
I'll send you my number.
It's certainly, you know, I feel like
Good
sometimes
luck.
like my students that watch my stream, it's
Now
gotta
go.
be like whiplash. Cause like
Need a few
most
words
of
with
the
Judy.
time, like I don't act like this when I'm teaching. I'm very professional, like when I'm teaching. I'm very much like, oh my God, hi, how are you? How's your practice been going? Do you have any questions? Like I'm very professional. But then here, I'm just like, shit, fuck, balls, tits. So like, I'm wondering if it's like, I don't know. It's probably not that.
Turns
like,
out Evelyn's
for real,
recording from
you know?
Pompeii.
Like it's probably not that serious, but sometimes I do wonder if I give people like cognitive dissonance. Like I get like it's a weird like
We're all
variation between like
Ready
I
to
have
go.
some people like
What now?
most of the people that follow me on TikTok don't know I'm a teacher, whereas most of the people that follow me on Twitter don't know I stream, right? So like the people that follow me on Twitter will be like, oh my gosh, you
there
stream!
in
I'll
no
check out your stream, and they'll be like,
See you, Miss V.
oh. Oh shit! Whereas people that follow me on TikTok will be like, "Oh my God, you're a teacher." Why? Which is always like interesting to me because like I totally get the like thought process of wait, why am I so slow? Am I over cucumbered? Do I have too much in my inventory? Do I have too much junk in my trunk? No, I'm good. Why am I walking so slow? Did I accidentally like toggle something? Oh no, there we go. Okay.
4 a.m.
But like
last
I
night,
understand why
Gina
people
and
think that like, you know, teacher is very like, you know, like I get it. But every teacher I've ever met is like working in public schools is fucking insane to some degree. And I think that's just like you kind of gotta be, you know, like I feel like with a lot of teachers, like I have a lot of people that are like surprised at the type of content I make because I'm very vulgar, right? When they find out like I'm a teacher, but I honestly don't think it's like every one of my teacher friends that I have like shown my content to are not surprised. Like everyone's a little bit insane, you know? He be vulgar. Yeah, no, I am a sweet say-so. I don't even know what a PP is. Oh shit, I almost got run over by a car. Hee hee, I'm so quirky and cool. Haha, vehicular manslaughter. Hee hee. But yeah, you know, so like, I don't know. It's interesting. However, I am very excited to only be teaching VTubers because even though I'm still professional, I tell people a lot of times I'll match their energy when I'm teaching. So I have some students where when I'm teaching them, it feels like I'm. Whoa. Hey, do I need to neutralize you?
Shooter, smash!
Okay. I was like, it said neutralize the perps. I'm like, I don't know who the perps are. Wait, katana time! Anyway, as I was saying, I have some students where like it feels like I'm teaching like a college voice lesson. You know what I mean? It feels like very professional. Whereas I have some students who will like come in and be like, "What the fuck is that, BB?" And I'll be like, "What the fuck is that?" Which is kind of fun because then like when they do, because I'm the type of teacher where I like to hype up my students a lot. So like if they hit like a really high note or like achieve a goal, I'll be like, "Fuck yeah, let's go, let's fucking go!" And you know, sometimes I found that like me just making little jokes and stuff like that. Me just making little jokes and stuff like that sometimes like helps people feel more comfortable because sometimes taking voice lessons can be kind of scary, you know. So I get it. If me making little jokes makes people feel comfortable, then I will continue to do that while I teach. But I usually just match people's energy, you know, and I can usually tell when I'm teaching, like if there's someone who will like be into me being silly while I teach, or if they just don't want me to. Like if they want it to be like a traditional, almost like college class thing, you know what I mean? I've been teaching for like 6 years at this point, which is really weird to think about. Because I started when I was, I started teaching private lessons. Oh shit. I started teaching private lessons when I was 16. No, I was 18. I started teaching private lessons when I was 18. And I started working in public schools when I was 21, 20, I think. I skipped a year of high school, so I got my degree kind of early. Oh shit! Ah! Okay. Europe mode, wrong side of the road. Okay, I'm not gonna run over any pedestrians this time. I've learned my lesson. I've gone back to driver's re-education, whatever the fuck. I'm not running over anybody. I'm a good noodle. I'm a good noodle, okay? I'm a good noodle. Okay, here we go. Can I park like right here? There we go. No walls were ran into. So, I don't know if any weekly lessons are just a hint. It's up to you. Don't be afraid to, like, because that's the thing, is those roles in the server are just for, like, what pings you want to get, right? So, the way I do my waitlist is to save time for me, because my waitlist is at, like, 180, 200 people now at this point. But it's not first come, first serve for the waitlist, because sometimes people will, like, join the waitlist and, like, forgot they were on it, or, like, situations change. So to keep it easy for me, the way I do it is I have, I basically, if there's an opening, I ping the role on Discord, and whoever responds to it first gets the opening. So one-time openings are like, you just meet once. Usually it's when a weekly student has to miss. And then weekly openings are weekly, you know? So it's a matter of, a lot of times people who, like, right now I'm fully booked, unfortunately. But a lot of times people will do, like, one-time lessons just to try it out, just to see, like, if they like it, if they want to do lessons. I have some people who are, like, quote-unquote on call, whereas they don't have a weekly lesson slot, but, like, I'll go to them before I post it because I know they're available during those times, so it's easier for me as a teacher and, like, business owner. But yeah, it's one of those things where it's, like, up to you, you know? I think anyone can benefit from, like, a one-time lesson. I think you can still get a lot out of it. Obviously, you'll probably get more with weekly lessons just because you get more help, you know? But a lot of times, sometimes people will take a one-time lesson just to get started, and then I won't see them again for, like, a month or two, you know? Sometimes people only come to me when they have roadblocks, when they're stuck with something, whereas some people I meet with, like, all the time, weekly, just as, like, a general coach rather than a teacher. So everyone's different, you know? All right. Jackie, my man, what's up?
Yo también te quiero, ma.
What's up?
About time, chica.
Hi. Oh, well, thanks so much for the posture check. How's your mom?
What's new with Senora Wells?
Oh my god, I cracked
you know,
my back.
she's worried about me. Whatever. Can't help herself, you know. Checking to see if
I'm not even shrimping. I think my chair. I need to move my computer. My computer's in a weird spot, so I'm like sitting in a weird spot.
The more I tell her everything's okay,
Yeah, absolutely.
the more I feel like I'm straight up lying. But that's done after tomorrow. Afterlife, here we come, baby.
Yeah. Doesn't look like it's actually that great.
Funny.
Oh, I'm about to be so edgy.
For a club with the hottest contracts in town, doesn't look like all it's bigged up to be.
It's what's inside that counts, Chum.
All right. I just love the word
Ready to get your
choo.
cherry popped?
What?
Yeah, come on.
I didn't know that's what we were doing. Okay. I mean, I'm not opposed, but like shit. Ready to get your cherry
Place
pop,
used to be a
chat?
morgue. You
We're
believe
all in
that?
this together.
Who would have thunk?
I know, right? Way before our time, that. When proper burials were still a thing.
What do they do now? If they don't do burials, is everyone just cremated? I feel like in this universe they'll like take your ashes and snort it or some shit. Name's V.
Name's V. This is Jackie
What's
Wells.
poppin'?
Oh.
You know,
Is that supposed to sound familiar?
I'm not gonna be the one to tell you.
We're here to see Dex.
I'm not gonna be the one.
Yo, Dex. Got two live ones saying they're here to see you. Yeah? Alright then. Says he needs a second or two. Go get yourselves drinks or something.
Okay.
Way ahead of you, viejo.
To the bar. Let's see.
The heart of Night City.
Well, that lady's just a whole ass robot.
Hear it?
Huh? Wait,
Can you
where'd you go?
imagine?
Oh shit.
Susan Forrest, Boa Boa, maybe even Morgan Blackhand. All set on.
Looks like we're up.
All right. I don't know what's happening. What's a choom? Oh, so choom is just like this universe's. It's not a traditional
lady
English
there.
slang term, but in
That's
this universe, it's a slang
Best
term
fixer
for
in
friend.
all of Night City.
Thought Dex was the
So
best.
y'all are my chooms.
Rogue was lining up jobs when Dex was still shitting in diapers.
Oh damn.
Place belongs to her.
Hi.
What can I get you?
You pick.
You order.
2 tequila
She's
old fashions
pretty.
with a splash of cerveza and a chili garnish.
Duo of Johnny Silverhands coming up.
Right on, chica.
She's
Somebody
pretty.
did their homework.
It's like the dog ate mine.
Age-old tradition. Drinks are named after our regulars.
What do you have to do to get your own drink?
Say I wanted to have a drink named after me. What would I
What do
have
you
to
think like an EB Games
Snuff it.
cocktail would involve?
Mind-blowingly spectacular.
It'd probably be
fresh.
like a really
Knit
fucked
up
up
and be
Long
best.
Island iced tea.
What a beautiful
Just a little bit of everything, and then you die. Tonight City. I don't want to say that I'm doing a heist right in front of a lady.
And the afterlife.
Dollarita. You're right, though. You're actually right. It would either be a Dollarita. It would either be a Dollarita, or you know what? Do you remember when Buffalo Wild Wings had the like the fucking
Who else can I drink here?
All on the menu.
the Doritos like margarita with the Mountain Dew, the Mountain Dew Doritos margarita. It was like a Mountain Dew margarita and it had crushed Doritos on the
He's dead or still kicking.
That would be me.
Nobody knows what happened to him. Think he's still alive?
Wait, isn't Johnny Silverhand Keanu Reeves?
Why not? Look at Rogue. Peaked from that era.
I want to drink
Species unto
Keanu Reeves.
themselves.
That sounds fantastic. Guess there's no such thing as living legends.
Yes, dying's a
League of
small
Legends.
price to pay for going down in history.
Gotta live like a legend first, though, huh?
Huh?
Death. It's nothing but the final flourish. Oh, and by the way, name's Jackie Wells. You want to write down my recipe?
Sure.
She's pretty.
Shot of
I want
vodka
to
on the
kiss her on the
rocks,
mouth.
lime juice, ginger beer.
You just
and
did?
most
Oh, hell
importantly,
yeah.
a splash of love.
Can you imagine, like, walking up to someone? You've, like, never met them
that.
before, and it's just
Heard
like,
you were Dutch's
I've
latest
drank
find."
you before.
Just biz, no big deal.
My dumbass would, though. My dumbass would.
Mr.
He's
Deshawn,
like,
see you
hello,
now."
Mr. Keanu Reeves, I drank you.
Dex a regular?
Like,
Come here a lot?
A sort of long hiatus, matter of fact. Didn't show his face for nearly 2 years.
Tomcat's gotta walk his own path, right?
Yeah, well, wherever he walked, he knocked a few pounds off.
no.
Guess they weren't delivering that pizza I
Skinny
mentioned before.
legend. How'd you know?
How do you know?
My job to know. Look around. How do you think mercs earn their reps? Through gossip rivaling that of schoolgirls, that's how.
Oh, damn. Okay. Well, I'll stand up, I guess, because I
How do
got...
you know?
Oh, shit.
My job? Look around. How do you think mercs
All right, we'll stand up.
break a leg?
Thank you,
Thanks.
Miss Claire. She seemed very nice. I like her a lot. The Keanu Reeves Cyberpunk interview? Oh, boy. Oh, boy. All right, let's see. Hi.
Damn, Holmes. You're huge. Work out? Same here. No, in the ring. You do some kind of exotic shit? Huh? Kempo? Ninjutsu? Think you could take me? Drop me?
In here.
Este pinche tipo.
Alright. Let's head on in. Ooh, sody.
That's
All right.
right, Excelsior. Cold hard eddies, as per usual. Gotta bounce.
Oh.
Well, if it ain't Miss V.
Whole family in one place. Ha! Finally!
Do I sit?
First time
Do I-
in real space.
And the flathead.
Do I got
Let's see
stand?
this
Can I
bad
sit between
boy.
you guys? Hehe. Wait, what's that spider? Flat in the briefcase. Hey, go, buddy. He's so cute!
Einstein.
I love him.
Set your butts down comfy.
Oh, okay. I'll sit for real now. Why don't I get to sit with everyone else? Why can't I sit in between them?
Jackie.
We're not gonna cuddle? That's
Now,
fucked up.
now, Mr. Wells is right. We're gonna be going over some sensitive material. But if it's all right with y'all, I'd like to start with a question for Miss V.
Hi.
Evelyn Parker, how'd you fare?
She's pretty. Saw Compeki Plaza from the inside.
Well as I could have, I guess. Walked around Compeki Plaza, inside from that
Hey, Unicorn,
Robbie
where were you
douchey
keeping that
skull.
spider? In my ass. Next question.
Bug already filled me in.
So you know the target.
The prison pocket.
Yorinobu Arasaka, the Emperor's son and heir apparent.
Yeah, he really is just.
Man with the millionaire name and no talent to back it up. Evelyn Parker's special friend? So she just want to see what's good, or was there something else?
I don't have the rating for that. Yeah, let's go over
I think
the
she
plan.
just
I don't
wanted
want
to
to be
see
mean.
what I was about.
I don't want to just be like, we don't
Wanted to
need you.
see what you was about, huh?
How about we go over the plan? What you got for us, Dex?
This.
Huh? You gestured and then nothing happened.
Oh.
Oh,
Here goes
okay.
nothing.
Let me see.
Me and Dex have already covered the fine deets. Ops-wise, should be a stroll on the beach.
Elaborate. I want to hear it.
A Delamain will drop your asses at the front door of Konpeki Plaza. You'll stroll right in thanks to your false identities.
Okay.
Then, with Bug's help, you'll breach the hotel subnet.
Do I get a sexy disguise?
Mine and the Flathead's help.
Last but not least, you slip into Yorinobu's penthouse and
Stealth mission!
It goes without saying, we do this on the hush. Ideally, no bodies.
Ah!
Not a one.
You'll have T-Bug on comms for the duration. Time for
What
your
do you mean I can't kill anyone? That's the fun part. Yeah, it sounds pretty clear. How do we get in the... Oh shit, wrong button. How do we get in the penthouse? I fucked up my model, but that's okay. Yeah, how do we get in the penthouse?
How do we get in the penthouse?
Yorinobu's got barely any muscle. Hardest part will be penthouse security. If we...
Whoop.
Only catch is there's no way to get in the dweller's den from the outside.
Hold on.
Alright, I guess
How you want us to get inside a room you can't get into?
Trust me when I say whatever hit you think of, T-Bug solved it already.
This is where the Flathead comes in.
Babe.
You'll have to get him in the ventilation shaft, guide him to the dweller, and force the dweller to take a break.
Huh?
Flathead will stay there.
Is that like a fancy way of saying kill him?
I'll be able to
or
roll
like
out your red carpet into the penthouse.
Not kill him. Incapacitate him, or are we just gonna like give him a cigarette and tell him to go outside? What kind of cover do you get?
These new identities.
Yeah, I want to know. Do I get a sexy disguise?
Hello, Ramon Victorino. And you're Hannah Conwell.
Why do I have to have a basic name? He has a cool name. Why am I Hannah?
What do we say we're there for?
Biz as usual. Corpo arms deal. In case anyone asks,
Got the name like my dad's a dentist and my mom stays at home.
Hajime Taki.
Which, like, there's nothing wrong with that. It just sounds kind of basic. I'm good.
Okay. Feel brought up to speed.
Perfect.
I got a question.
Apologies to all the
When do we get
Hannahs
to the
out
real
there.
reason we're all here?
I love and respect you. But
Cut
he
for
got a
first
very
talent's
cool
always
name,
the
and I
same.
wanted a cool name.
Non-negotiable. 30%.
Bro, 30?
Every part in this drama carries its risks. That's the value of yours, as determined by
I'm
me.
only worth 30%. Yeah, no, isn't that a little low?
Come on, Dex. Isn't that a
Give me at least 45. Come on, 45.
Hey, hold on, Holmes. Who got the flathead?
Yeah.
Who pulled the intel
45.
from the brain
Take it or leave
gas? And we're going in a hotel full of soccer men to swipe some fucking toy from the boss's son. We are the job.
Yeah.
And who's providing transport? A top-tier net runner and a lead-proof plan and intel? You sure you want to go down this road?
Can I save before I click an option? Cause I wanna I don't wanna choose. Cause I don't wanna make the. Can I quick save? Thank you. I pressed F5. No.
Miss V?
I need to advocate for myself. My mom said that I need to know my self-worth, okay? So I know my self-worth. I know my value. I know my worth.
Jack's right, Dex. We ought to get more than 30.
35.
We deserve
Take it or leave
more.
it.
Fine, 35, and that's my final offer.
I'll take it.
I can live with that. It's my final offer, too.
Sounds good.
Been a while since I got a run for my eddies. They're actually kind of fun. Last thing, Konpeki's
See?
got a strict
You always
no-hiring
gotta
policy.
advocate for
Security
yourself,
gates,
okay?
the works. So you dogs will leave your lead spitters in the ride. Take the flathead
My
inside.
gun.
Its case.
Got some deft suits, so you'll look the part too.
Oh, hell yeah.
Thanks, T.
Am I gonna look
Girl,
hot?
not to count
Do I?
chickens,
So I
but
do get a sexy
why don't we
disguise.
see
I get a
our
little
eddies?
suit. Hell yeah.
All depends how Miss Parker avails herself of her role. But a week, 2
Throw them
tops
in a
is my
bowling
guess.
question. I mean, I
And what
usually
do
eat
we
my
do while
tacos
we
normally. I
sit
usually
around,
prefer
suck
soft
air?
tacos over hard
You
tacos.
sit tight, heads down, because old Uncle Arasaka be watching.
Okay.
Now, as that
I'm
old
ready.
Greek dog
I'm
says,
ready.
life's a banquet. So don't go thirsty, but don't get drunk either.
Okay.
Your chariot awaits
Ooh,
outside.
my chariot.
My cue to Delta 2. Gotta prep to jack in. Be there when you come on comms. Any other issues? Now's your chance.
Thanks for helping.
Thanks for your help back at the scav hunt.
A few Reapers less in the city. Good thing.
City Hall should be fucking thanking us.
Honestly, yeah. Yeah, what's the deal with you and Dex? You fucking?
You and Dex known each other a while.
You fucking?
Why?
You know, peeps say all kinds of things.
You fucking?
Everything we hear is an opinion, not a fact. Marcus Aurelius, I think.
Okay.
You and Dex both philosophizing.
I don't know. I think Dex is
No
kind of
wonder you
hot
get
with
along.
me. Like, I'd smash, so if that's not an option, I'd like to know. I'm good, though.
I'm good. No questions.
Let's get to work.
All right, let's go. Can I get up?
So you ready to get going or what?
Yeah, I think we're good, actually. I think we're ready. However, we are going to take a quick ad break because I'm out of water and I need to use the bathroom. And I've been streaming for... Usually I take a break, like, I do an ad break, like, every hour. It's an hour and 45 minutes in. So I'm going to do an ad break real quick. If you've been watching the stream since the beginning, go get water, go get a snack. If you haven't taken your meds today, do that. I will see you in a few minutes. And then once we come back, thank you, we will... It's heisting time, okay? We will be right back. Boop. And then press the button. Boop. There we go. All right. BRB! Beep boop. Beep boop 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 beep boop. I am back. Okay. Let me see if I can. I should have done this during the screen actually, but you know what? That's fine. We'll commit to the teacher model for now. Wait, where's my cute hair? If we're gonna use this model, we may as well fully commit to the bit. I'm not at work, so we'll use the other. Hold on, where's my button for cute hair? I have a cute hair button, and I don't know where it is. That's my lanyard. I know I have a hotkey for. There it is. Okay, if we're gonna use the teacher model, we're gonna commit to the bit, right? But we won't have the teacher logo on because I'm technically off work. Okay, let's get going. It's hype time. All right, sneaky beaky time. All right, let's go.
Let's roll. No point in waiting.
Let's go.
Getting rich, you mean?
Oh wow, right. Okay.
Welcome on board this Delamain service.
Oh, that was
With
fast.
Delamain,
Oh, look at
you leave
me.
your problems at the door.
I'm looking swab.
Better fucking believe I will.
Hell yeah.
I see no reason why you should be using expletives.
What?
Oh, yeah? What about that time I wanted to hire you for my cousin's bachelor party, huh?
Unfortunately, we do not take on such.
Is that a real person or is that a robot?
3 months I'd been saving up scratch. Water under the bridge. Hit it, Del.
Yeah, is that a real
Before
person?
we begin our journey, I must verify
That's
the
AI. Okay,
identities
that's
of
what I
all
thought.
customers. Please proceed to connect your personal links.
Okay. I'm jacking. Whoa.
Thank you. Excelsior package activated.
Excelsior? Oh,
What
this
does
just
that
keeps
mean?
getting better.
What's that?
Excelsior?
The Excelsior is a package tailored to our premium clientele.
Top quality don't come free, you know. Now watch. Delamain, initiate combat mode.
What?
My apologies, but you do not appear to be in any sort of imminent
What do you mean we
danger.
can't gun down civilians in a limo?
Oh well.
Then what the fuck am I playing the game
Hold
for?
down an
No, I'm
army of
kidding.
Saka ninjas if it comes down to it.
Combat mode sounds illegal.
Is combat mode even legal?
Of course it is. The Second Amendment says so.
Okay.
While on board, you are entirely within your rights to bear and use me.
Oh shit. Okay. What else does this include?
Excelsior. What else is included?
Comprehensive health coverage, including the handling and disposal of a client's remains should death occur on board.
Okay.
Damn. Shit got dark pretty quick.
Yeah. Well, that he didn't skim.
Dex ain't skimping, is he?
At least we got some clue where his 65%'s going, huh?
I guess.
Excelsior. This is how you want to cruise into the major leagues.
I mean, will my character know about this because I've been a corpo? Don't get too excited.
Wouldn't get overly excited.
Yeah, I feel like as a corpo
Haven't
cunt, I'd
gotten
be used
there.
to this kind of thing.
Not yet.
Hey, Evie, did you make a lady with a PP?
No, Jack.
I
Kinda feels like you're
forgot you
using
could
that
do
steel grip of
that.
yours.
Huh.
Because
Seems
I
to
have
me like
nudity
it's you who's got
disabled.
some kind of problem.
Oh my god, we didn't. We could have had girl cock. We could have had girl cock. Girl cock. We could have had girl cock. And I squandered it like an idiot.
Need
This
you
is
to
so
keep your
fucked
head
up.
clear
I'm
and
so.
in the game. We got a job to do.
It's never,
It's fine.
ever
I'll live.
clear in my
I'll
whole
live.
fucking life.
We'll get him next
Let me
time.
explain something to you, V.
Our destination.
The sheet has got
My
you so
whole life
flustered.
I've spent in
Listen,
this
I
shit
just.
around us.
I just love girl cock, bro. This is so fun. I think you get a PP if you go to a Ripper Doc. Thank fucking Christ. Can you have them be like, turn it off, turn it on again?
How's things?
That would be fun.
Smooth as fucking sandpaper.
We'll be,
Like you can
pulling
have
up
it
to the
only
hotel soon.
sometimes.
Listen, set
Like it's
up a direct
removable.
encrypted line to guide you through Konpeki.
Like a strap,
The
but
ring
more
checking
intense.
now, see for instinct. Can't be too careful.
Let's call him.
And?
Hell yeah.
Got
Cock
static.
toggle.
Say something, Bug.
Sorry
The
guys, I
greatest
accidentally
crimes
toggled my
issue from a
cock.
desire for excess and not from necessity.
You know, I'm sure there's a
what now?
VTuber. No,
Aristotle.
I have seen a
Guess you read me
VTuber
then.
before with a rigged
Yeah, I read you.
clitoris. So
Not
like,
so
I'm
much your
sure
Greek
there's a
friend.
VTuber out
Well, it
there
was
with like
kind of
a cock
exciting.
toggle,
Could give it
legitimately.
some thought.
So like,
Try to understand.
it's out there.
How about
you know,
you, V?
we have the technology. Loud and clear.
Read you loud and clear.
I should go back to
Perfect.
paying attention to the game.
Okay. Tech checks out.
Toggle
looks
little
like.
boobs. Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
Era mejor que sí.
You know, they
Stay in
said we'd
touch.
have flying cars in the future, but
Thank you
this
for
this
choosing
works.
the
This is
Delamain
fine for
service.
me. Like I'll
Best
take
of
it.
luck.
You know,
I shall await here for your return.
anime titties
It's finally happening.
probably are not going to advance
Almost
society,
forgot. No iron, huh?
but that's okay. You know, VTubers addict. Oh hell yeah. You know what? Maybe I'll have to. Oh, maybe I'll have to look at. Oh, I don't want to leave my
All right,
weapon.
Hannah. Let's go.
Hannah. Hi, my name's Hannah. I'm majoring in psychology.
Hold on.
Cause
Let me
I'm
grab
gonna
the flathead.
get you wanna get the new sugar cookie latte at Starbucks? Let me go grab my Stanley. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Oh my god. I can't make fun of people like that. I think
You're out
everyone,
front, Bug.
regardless of race, gender, whatever, everyone has a little bit of a basic white girl in them. You just need to find out where it like channels and harness it. You know?
Don't worry.
Everyone's a
Got
little
this.
bit of a basic white girl. Like even my boyfriend, okay? My boyfriend is like very masculine, drinks
Welcome to
whiskey,
Kentucky
you
Plaza.
know,
Please
owns
come through
swords.
single file.
But like I'll be
You got it,
damned
Ho.
if he doesn't go get a little
sir?
fruity, you know, frappuccino from time to time. And that's his right, you know. There's nothing
Hold on.
emasculating
Got
about
something.
getting a frappuccino. In
Care
fact,
to explain why
I
you're
think
bringing
it's more
military
emasculating
equipment onto the
personally.
premises into
because
Kentucky
you know what
Plaza?
you like and you're not afraid to get it. We're arms dealers.
We're arms dealers.
Excuse me?
Did I fuck up?
You
Oh,
are
no, we're
here
good,
to see
we're good.
Taki-san. Am I right? Please, accept my apologies for the confusion.
Sumimasen.
This should only take a moment, ma'am.
Go ahead.
Thank you.
Yokoso.
Yokoso.
Greetings and
Onegaishimasu.
welcome to Konpeki Plaza.
Hajimemashite. We'd like to check in.
We'd like to check in.
Of course. Just a moment, please. The name on the reservation is?
Victorino.
Double room, 2 adults, 1 night, correct?
That's the one.
Yep.
Perfect. I'll go ahead and notify Taki-san of your arrival.
Shit, no good. Not part of the plan.
What?
Lock her up
Oh
here.
shit.
No.
That won't be necessary.
That won't be necessary. We'll go freshen up first. Notify him ourselves.
But Taki-san is expecting you, no?
Senorita, do you know how long we've been traveling? 18 hours from New Barcelona. With
God,
a
he's a
delay on
smooth
medic
talker.
because some cyberpsycho blew himself into bits inside the terminal.
Nightmare.
Of course,
She's such
I
a bad
understand.
actor, bro.
You'll be in the Lapis Lazuli suite on level 42. Oh, one more little formality. Please validate your SID chip.
Okay.
Honor's all yours, Hannah.
Hannah.
Everything seems to be in order. We wish you a pleasant stay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Better get going.
Okay. Let's see.
New Barcelona, really?
It's called improvising. You should
Yeah,
try.
he did better than I would have. I fucking, if this were me in real life,
What do you think,
bro, I would have
Hannah?
just been like, okay,
Quaint,
and then I'd cry and
cozy.
shit my pants.
Not like the hotel we had in Zurich for that convention.
Oh my god, we're
Don't
role
need that,
playing.
Jack. Enough.
What? Taking this seriously.
No, I'm down to role play. Let's role play. Yeah, that was crazy. Hey, the other hotel had continental breakfast though. I don't see continental breakfast around here. You see continental breakfast? I love me a fucking continental breakfast. Microwave bacon and a muffin that's been sitting out for 3 days. Oh fuck yeah, that's
Bar
the
don't look
good
too
shit.
shabby.
Welcome to Konpeki Plaza.
Can't wait to
We
sit down at
don't
the
do
bar,
reservations
look like a
weekdays,
badass.
So feel free to grab any
Can I
available
get a Shirley
table.
Temple with extra
Or
cherries,
a
please?
couple of stools at the bar if you prefer.
Could bring Misty here one day when we close this deal.
Who the fuck's Misty? All right, let's go.
You will, I'm sure. Now let's go
I've
check out
never
our
seen
digs.
Next amount is nonsense. The fuck you mean I can't get vampire mommies for Skyrim because it exceeds non-premiums against cap? Sometimes you just listen. I'll be so real with you. I did at one point. I did bite the bullet and just fucking. I bought Nexus Premium for a month, bro. It was worth it because once you download it, you just download all the shit you want and then you're good. Then you can cancel it for the next month. Oh,
You
Misty's
nailed
his
the part
girlfriend.
or what?
Okay. No, he shouldn't have mentioned her because that's not your girlfriend in the roleplay.
Like somebody put clothes on a dog.
That's out of character.
Yeah, 'cause you look so
If you're gonna say
much
something out of
better.
character, you have to put it in
I just
parentheses
feel
brackets
weird.
so we know it's out of character.
Suit it up again. Right.
Alright,
And you can
let's go
kick
up.
the rat out of the corp.
God, you're
but
awful
you'll
at
never
roleplay.
kick the corp out of the rat.
I said me shaking my head. Alright. 42nd floor. That's a lot of I don't think I've ever been in a building that has like you know how in like New York they got buildings with like hundreds of floors? I don't think I've ever been in a building like that. Ooh, fancy. Do they have this game out for VR? Because, like, part of me is like, this would be really cool in VR. But then the other half of me is like, this would give me a seizure in VR.
Сама как думаешь?
Я думаю, что не врал. По крайней мере, насчет контакта.
Oh.
Зая, ты же помнишь,
Those
как
are
мы тестировали
inside?
эту
Yeah,
технику
I
на
don't
нас?
know, you know? What if it's all fake? What if it's all just the vibes?
We're in our room.
Wait, I want to go
Pretty
look at the
snazzy.
fish. Are there fish in here?
Bet we ain't staying
Is
the
this
night.
an aquarium?
Nice choice,
Oh,
dog.
no, it's just like plants.
For snaz.
I was hoping it would be an
Offers quickest
aquarium.
access to the dweller and servers.
Oh,
Sí, mi acuerdo.
fishies!
Now you fire up the flathead.
Reminds me of
and find the
conventions.
chef.
Even cons, I don't think I've
Sounds
been to a
simple
hotel
enough.
that big.
Simplicity is sometimes toughest to master.
Whoa.
Aurelius? Aristotle?
Wait,
Who's
this
it
is
this time?
cool.
Yours truly. That one's mine.
Where's the chef?
Whoa.
Boot up your scanner. Look around.
Okay. Let's see. What's over here? Television. Could be suspicious. Can I look at that? No, I can't. What's this? Smart room terminal. Okay. Let's see. Entry point in the flathead. Oh, wait, hold up.
Got a winner.
There we go.
Good.
Shaft.
Jackie, how's the flathead looking?
All set.
Is it just gonna like pop open? Go, my friend! Go, my son!
Systems are
My little
operational.
baby boy,
Charge
go!
100.
Make mommy proud! Guess we
Yes,
just wait now?
Little gawk stock.
Aww! Poor
Just gonna stand
baby!
there and look at it? Gonna have to switch to manual control. B, take the control shard from Jackie. Gonna link your Kiroshis to surveillance so you can guide the bot.
Okay. Where's the control shard? Here goes now.
Here.
Here goes.
Patching you through to in-cam view. Might get a little
Wait, look at me.
disoriented, but don't freak.
Look how hot I am! Oh, that's... I zoomed in too far!
Okay, got a clear view.
You can't just go locking people out of their
Whoops.
Get him to the next vent.
places of work.
Okay.
Arasaka
Scan
will
for a
cover
way
the
into the
cost
vents.
of any and all penalties assessed.
This isn't about the money. It's election season.
One over here.
How do you think this will make me look? People start saying I've lost control of Watson. District I'm from.
There you go, buddy. Come on, you got this.
That's all we can promise you.
We will try, and that is all I can promise you.
I wanted to look at myself again from the third person, I'm gonna be honest. Okay. There he goes.
Okay, flathead's in.
Patching you into next cam now.
What makes you think it was for you?
You'll be able to look at yourself once you find a bike. Yeah, I've looked at myself a little bit on the bike, but it's not the same as like with Skyrim where I can just like
everywhere.
Admire my character for a little bit. You know?
Am I the only one that just gets puke and used condoms? Where's the damn justice in it?
Bug. Got a hitch.
I feel like there's.
Now.
I think that's the only
in my
grade.
way.
Yeah.
Okay, got a distractor. Let's see what's on the subnet.
Terrarium
Alright,
panel.
on it.
Smart room terminal.
Got a smart room panel.
That could be useful. What if we blow it up?
No,
You're no
not in the least.
Arasaka.
Oh, okay.
Men like him are always single.
Cooling?
Terrarium's got a temp and air quality
But
controller.
he's a biker at heart. Always
Great,
itching
yeah.
for a ride.
Stick the flathead on it.
Okay.
I'd give him a ride.
Make it Chilly Willy.
Honey, stick to wiping that glass, huh?
I covered my girl like
streaks everywhere.
cyber tactical gear, but I do sometimes like to run around with her cock out. Relatable. Just like me, for real, for real. And here he goes. You can do it.
Something's up with the tank.
Hey, Bug, it worked.
Ain't seen nothing yet.
You got any idea how much those things cost?
Keep moving. No time for backpatting.
Alright, let's go. Heart pubes. I'm gonna have to play this off stream with nudity enabled just to see all the options. Is it like Baldur's Gate where we have like cock A through F? Is it like that? Is there a superior PP? Alright, let's see. That one's pretty easy. There's cock A and cock B. That's all you get? Fucked up. Fucked up. Yeah, there's no sliders? Fucked up.
Okay.
Dweller's just beyond the door.
Okay.
Flathead can jimmy the lock.
Go, my son. Go, baby, go. He's so cute. I can't. Oh my god. I can't get over it. He's adorable.
Looks like he's having trouble.
Aw, poor baby. It's okay.
Gotta be another way.
Maybe if I just cheer him on, he'll get
Got
through
another
it.
cam other side of the door, but it's disabled.
Want me to enable?
Yeah, look around for a CCTV port.
Okay. There's a vent. Computer. There we go. Get in there, little guy. Okay.
Okay,
with 3
he's
and
at it.
1.
Now toggle over to the other cam.
Dweller's inside.
Just as planned.
Okay.
Still weird the hotel's only got one runner.
Decent Dweller's as good as a dozen rank and file.
What now?
What do we do now?
Neutralize him. Use the flathead to jack into him.
I'm gonna
I'll flash
jack
freeze
into a
on the
man?
demon.
Oh, okay.
Lingo. Don't ask.
Dweller won't realize something's up.
Gotta jack straight into his chair. He won't know it hit him then. Could drive a tank through here and he wouldn't feel it breeze. Dead to the world, that one.
Damn, okay.
You have to get the flathead in there first, though.
Okay, well... thought I saw a vent. Somewhere around here. Yeah, these are all screens. Aha!
Shaft may link both rooms, looks like.
Let's figure it out.
Give it a go.
Now toggle over to the other cam.
Okay.
Might have found our way in.
Send the flathead over there, then toggle over to the second cam.
Alright. Checking it out. Come on, little buddy. Oh, there he goes. There he goes. There you go.
Flathead into the chair, V. Jack in.
Alright. Go fuck him up, little guy. This is what you're made for. Fuck him up. Hack that man to death. Oh, shit.
Got him. Love those demons.
Flathead stays, right?
To keep an eye on the Dweller, yeah. Punching into Kompeki's main net. You go ahead and log out.
Okay. Alright.
Así es como se hace.
Yeah!
How you
Run
feeling?
around with cock
Fine.
flopping around while
Little
slicing
dizzy,
up
that's all.
maelstrom cocks.
Bug.
What
how you
other
doing
way to
on
play the
time?
game? Truthfully. Alright.
You there, Bug?
What's up?
Yeah, I'm here. So, listen, ice is thicker than I thought. Piercing it'll take a couple hours.
Couple hours? Can't do it any faster.
Want my brain to burst into flames? Just
Shit.
sit down and enjoy your snazzy sweet.
Thanks. I will. V, you take it easy, okay? Rest up a bit.
Alright. Oh, I got some street cred. Take a sit. Oh, I have to sit over here. Alright, what's going on, Jackie? What's up? What's the tea? A few hours later. Oh, okay.
What do you think?
Ooh, nighttime.
Why'd you give it all up?
What do you mean?
Who gave what up?
Yorinobu Arasaka. The good life, I mean. Old news, I know. Just got to thinking's all. It's like, think. You got everything, right? Eddie's, education. Your pops can snap his fingers and turn half the fucking planet into a nuclear wasteland. But instead, you're like, nah, fuck it. And what do you go do? Start a fucking gang. Steal dragons or some shit.
I mean, it sounds pretty
You
cool.
go
I'm gonna
from
be
your
honest.
fam, chip some real skin, and play gang leader for a few years. For what?
For funsies.
Say it yourself. You can kick the rat out of the corp.
But you'll never kick the corp out of the rat.
Probably just got bored. All 1%ers do.
Honestly,
sooner or
yeah.
later.
Like even like
Fucking
modern
tourist.
day, like you see what like the shit with like
Tourist or
Kylie
not,
Jenner
just walked
shooting a
into the
music
lobby.
video, or no, it
And
was
we are back in biz.
Charlie D'Amelio or whatever
And our
shooting
security
a
is
music
neutralized.
video where she's working at Walmart,
Perfecto.
role
Let's start
playing
the show.
being the working class. Damn.
Hey, Bug. Were you on comms that whole time?
3.5 hours.
Ah shit.
About that stick up the ass.
Mean the one up mine?
Oh,
Slip of the tongue,
damn.
you know?
Whoopsie.
Now's your chance to make up to me.
Okay.
This is going pretty smooth, right?
Yeah, I'd say so.
Right?
Yeah.
Man, are you the silver lining type?
Hey, When you gonna wave off that dark cloud hanging
Yeah,
over
our
your head?
character V is so
I'm telling
edgy.
you, it's
She's
downhill
so
from here
edgy,
on in.
dude. Alright, let's see what's going on. You in? Alright, let's go. Where's the penthouse? There we go. Authorization
There's the
control.
awkward silence. You, wanna hear a joke?
What's the deal with airplane food?
Okay, so why'd the Rocker Boy's output kick him out of the apartment?
I don't know why.
Because he wasn't chipping in.
That was good. That was good. That was good.
Christ.
They're so mean to him. I love Jackie.
Not bad being heir to the Arasaka Empire. Sure as shit better than being
Oh
a
yeah,
son
this
of
is just like the
Raoul Wells.
BD.
Guys, focus. The safe. And make it quick.
Alright, I'm going.
What's the rush?
I mean, we don't know
See,
when
when
he's
your
gonna
Nobu's
come
gone
back.
dark.
What is he, a fucking sorcerer?
Some kind of dead zone's my guess. Have him back in a sec. And you do your damn job. There, under the floor. Look around for a
I moved
switch.
too fast. The game like, ugh. Alright, switch. There, I'm gonna try to be fast because it says I need to work fast. So I'm gonna zoom over there. Wait, that's the switch? Oh no, it's not. Okay.
Bingo! Got something ejected.
Did I get it right on the first try? Because it looked like there were multiple things for me to try bonking around. Oh yeah, I should get all the goodies. Here, you do your cutscene thing. I'm gonna just
Check in your personal and make us rich.
Real quick. Where was his bedroom? I just want to take a shit real quick. Hold on. You got any cool shit? Ooh, alcohol. Don't mind if I do. That's for me. There's a gun. Oh yeah, the gun. Okay. Anything else over here? That's cool. All right. Is there actually like a waiting limit, or could I just? Where's the gun by the bed? Where's 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 the bed? Got a sweater. Huh?
Got no time for this.
I just want the gun. Okay, gun. Yeah.
Looks like Yorinobu left us a parting gift.
Fuck yeah.
Ain't much, but it'll have to do.
All right, let's go. Wait, what's the egg? What's the
Your
egg?
turn, Bug.
Wait, what's the egg? Oh, I can't move. Well, that's why. The iguana egg. Oh.
They got winged visitors. Bug.
Don't know who, but staff's a buzz. All 200 on their feet. Can't keep still.
Can't say I like this.
Oh, shit.
How much longer, T?
Shit, Yorinobu's penthouse bound.
Fuck him! Open the safe!
Almost got it. Done.
Cream.
Alright, wait for T-Bug to have the safe. Alright, the egg's over
Relic
here, right?
intact?
Iguana egg. Iguana egg. Egg.
Good. Let's go.
Okay, there we go. I got the egg.
Fuck, too late. Yorinobu's about to walk in. Find cover.
Where?
That pillar. Try that.
You fucking kidding?
No. Inside it now.
Ah. Inside the maintenance shaft? Where the fuck's the maintenance shaft? Oh.
We're in.
Which don't solve our problem, T.
I fucking know our problem's still there. Let me think for a
Can
second.
they see us in here?
Mr. Atom Smasher.
Bodyguard.
Wars. Night City legend.
Oh no.
Motherfucking one too. What's the play?
We wait.
Are they here yet?
They approach from the landing pad?
Fuck are they talking about?
Balco, we got incoming.
Nuh-uh. No fucking way. This isn't happening.
Oh shit.
Saburo Arasaka.
The Emperor. Yet another ass-licking legend.
Now this copy's soundproof.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, why are they talking so much? Jeez.
首を突っ込まないでくれって言っただろ。
は
Oh, fuck.
外してくれ。
荒坂様、まだボディチェックが終わっていません。
Wait, did he see us? He said leave us.
息子だ。
例のものを回収しましょうか。
私がやる。言ってくれ。
Too close. If he'd have sniffed us out.
But he didn't. No,
This is very tense. Hi, Game Saver. Welcome in. Yeah, we're certainly close.
私が気づかないとでも思ったのか。
そもそも俺のことを気にしたことなんかないだろう。
Oh, damn.
あんたの問題点はそこだ。世界は自分中心に回ってると思ってる。傲慢だよ。
頼信。
どうしてここへ？直々に俺に屈辱を合わせ。
I need to stop shrimping. I'm like leaning forward because I'm like invested. I want to know what happened. So I'm like, ah.
よく言うだろう。
自分の言葉じゃ何も言えないのか。
Damn. Oh shit.
貴様こそ自分が何をしようとしたか分かっているのか。私たちの功績を野蛮人に渡すなど。私たちの未来を。
俺たちの未来。俺たち。なんか
Yes,
の間違い
please
だ。
don't give spoilers. Please don't give spoilers.
あん
This
たは
is
自分の
I
こ
am
としか考え
completely
て
blind.
ない。そして
I don't know
後悔したことし
shit.
か。
いつかこのような日が来ることは分かっていた。貴様は
Yeah, what did he do? I mean, I know he was doing gang shit, but like, why is he getting scolded?
これまでお前の愚行には目をつぶってきた。だがそれもここまでだ。この裏切りだけは決して許せん。貴様の母親が生きていなくてよかった。息子の不甲斐ない
You stole the thing you're stealing? Oh. Well, you know, two negatives make a positive, so I'm sure everything will be fine, right?
Shit.
これでもう誰のことも許す必要はない。
He's 158 years old. Goddamn. Oh, my panda thing is so. I'm sorry. But the fucking resub right as this man dies. Thank you so much for the resub, Red Panda. I really appreciate it. Thank you for the Prime. You have 3 PlayStations. Good night, Grandpa. Thank you, though, Gamer. That was just very good timing. Or very bad timing, depending on your outlook. Oh, fuck. Jesus. Oh. Oh, fuck.
I wish to put the hotel on lockdown.
Oh, no. Just cause, for sillies.
Pablo Arasaka has been murdered.
Code Red initiated.
Oh, boy.
Attention. Code Red has been initiated throughout Kenpeki Plaza.
Oh, fuck.
Please remain in your rooms.
We're so, it's so Jover, dude. It's so Jover.
何の騒ぎです。誰かが父に毒を持った。
They're not gonna find poison in his system.
そう。頼信さん、しかし。竹村、お前の仕事は何だ。何の話です。単純な質問だ。
Yeah, poisoned with what? He got poisoned with no oxygen. They got untraceable poison. Oh, damn.
お許しください。荒坂様。決して失望はさせません。
Damn. Everything is not Daijobu. Oh, fuck.
What the fuck just happened in there?
Yorinobu just moved, Saburo.
What?
Get out!
Don't fucking pops.
Know what this means? Security's gonna swarm the place any second.
Oh, we gotta go.
Oh my god.
Wait,
we're
can
so
I loot
fucked.
the old guy? We gotta go.
Need you to get us out of here now.
We don't have a sec.
Fuck!
Okay,
Saburo fucking Arasaka's dead.
To the window! To the wall! To the switch down my
You
mouth!
should see a ladder. Ladder. Oh, fuck.
No ladder!
Oh, no, not now. I've been made.
Bug!
Pinche Dios
Wait, is she
santo
dead?
bendito. Just lost T.
Fuck! Fucking major leagues. Happy now, Jackie.
Are we jumping? Wait, is she dead? No, I liked her! No! Cause you'll be locked out if you don't go now. Okay, we're gonna check. If I can do this real fast. Just real quick gonna case the joint.
Shit. Got 2 guards. Got any iron?
I just wanted to get this silly weapon and I They're like stairs and I was like, okay, let's check this here. Let's check this here where my weapons. Got some cool shit. Alright, we gotta I did get the gun. I do have the gun from in here. And I did loot that guy. Okay, there's a katana up there. I think I got the katana from the dad. Where's the katana? I might have gotten it already. Because these stairs only go up here. Yeah, I got the katana. Okay. Oh, that was a knife. I'm talking about a real katana. Where's the fuck's the katana? I'm up the stairs. There's not much up to go. Past the guards? Oh, okay. Alright, well. Let's get to the ladder then. How do I get to? Okay, ladder's down there. So we gotta go downsies, I guess? Yeah, okay. Okay, let me just, here, where was the way I got out? Yeah, okay, this way. Okay. It's not on timer? Okay. Okay, good to know.
Look down.
Don't look down.
Yep. That's fucking high.
Yep. Yep. Okay.
Shit. That trauma?
They're here for Saburo. They're a little late.
Just hope they didn't see us.
They most definitely saw us. Okay, bye! How am I alive? I do not live that. There's no way. There's no way. Oh, okay, there is a way. Okay.
Oh, shit!
Ugh, close one.
The relic!
Huh?
Madres! Oh, this ain't good.
I do got that dog in me. You're bleeding.
Jackie, you're bleeding.
Worry about me later. Check the relic.
Oh, fuck.
Container depressurized. Biochip integrity at 94%. Fucking dropping. Carajo.
I missed out a cool katana. Oh, I thought I got it. Oh,
Parker, call her.
That's okay.
And tell her we fried the case.
Let's do it.
Okay. She's not gonna pick up, I bet.
V?
Oh no, she's here.
He's all over the feeds. What the fuck's going on there?
Got a problem. Cryo case is damaged. Biochip integrity's at... Jackie?
You can just buy the iconic units? Oh, okay, so it always...
86% and dropping.
Shit. Okay, listen to me. There's only one thing you can do. One of you's gotta slot the relic into your neural port.
Shove it up my ass!
What the hell are you talking about?
I know that's not what she meant, but
the relic can't be isolated.
I couldn't
it has
help
to be
myself, I'm
nested
sorry.
in a safe environment.
Well, someone's gotta do it.
Alright. Is the relic just a dildo?
Nombre del Padre.
That's a pretty crazy looking dildo if you ask me. Oh, that's not that bad. Oh, shit. Needs a warm organic slot.
Jackie? You
yeah,
okay?
that'll work.
No. I guess.
Brain dances are brain dildos. Yeah, they fuck your brain.
Run a full brain scan and sweep. But you two need to get the fuck out of there first.
We're working on it.
Alrighty.
Del, we'll be there in a couple. Be ready. Got it?
Certainly, Mr. Wells.
Oh, he's so
Better
freaky
be fucking
looking.
certain.
Crank it up.
Reach the lobby. Only chance to hit the garage.
Okay.
Now we best be quick. Ahora sí.
How are they not in here still?
Let's get out of here.
Clear. Please remain in your room.
Understood. Over now.
All instructions.
All clear here, too. This was a drill. Why'd they send in Sokka Special Forces?
Quietly.
Special Forces?
Oh, I'd see.
In the lobby now. I'm gonna sweep the building. All
Okay.
floors.
Alrighty. Get a quick save real quick. Wait. Wait for what? Oh, did I quick save? Okay. Alright, let's see.
Located the dweller in a combat bot.
Go to the helicopter pad?
Drones have encountered hazards on the penthouse level.
What's over there?
Yorinobu Arasaka has been evacuated from the premises. I repeat, Yorinobu Arasaka has been evacuated.
What the hell's going on there? Doesn't sound good.
Where's the elevator pad? Or the helicopter pad? Oh, that's Jackie. That scared the shit out of me for a
Code Red
second.
has been initiated throughout Kenpeki Plaza.
Way above you? Oh, okay.
Please remain in your rooms and follow all
Let me
instructions
see that real
given
quick.
by
Hold on.
staff.
Gaslight.
Just to
geek,
check it
geek,
out.
Girl
Mama,
boss.
thank you so much for the follow. Welcome to the stream. You're not Gaslight Geeky Girl Boss. We are playing some Cyberpunk, and I'm trying to figure out where the helipad is. Is there a way to get up there? Oh, we're past that? Okay. Ripping pepperonis. Alright. Stealth time. I can be stealthy. I promise you. Ooh, an NDA. Oh, don't mind if I do. I can be stealthy. I promise. Okay? Alright. We're not gonna go loud. We're gonna be good noodles. Okay? Where are they? It says traceable. That's what worries me. Can I distract them first? Elevator's over there, ain't it? Oh no, I have to deal with them. Trying to see what else I can scan. Just hit one? Okay. We'll go for this one.
Code Red has
I don't even know how to drop a weapon in this game. No!
Please remain in your rooms
Okay.
and follow all instructions given by staff.
Scientists from Biodine
Where we're going.
have announced a breakthrough in the fight
We don't need a gun.
What do we have here? Silencer will come in handy.
Alright.
Careful. Security like that to be sworn
Here, let me
out.
equip my knife. Oh, what God, I look so fucking cool. Okay. Perfect. Alright. Got it. Save my points to Pester Day. Valid. Oh, Flippin! Welcome to the stream! Hi, gamers! My name is Evie Gibbs, and I love women and dragons, and my tummy hurts. But I'm being very brave about it. Welcome to the stream! Can I have a mod, please? Shout out Clibbit. What did you play? Welcome in. I killed people. See this man? I killed him with my bare hands. He is no longer alive. He will never see the sun again. Thank you for the Geek Gamer. What is this? Oh, but thank you. Oh, thank you for the hydrate. But welcome in. How was your stream? What'd you play?
Gaslight, geek, geek, girl boss.
Oliver, thank you for so much for the follow. You know, Gaslight Geeky Girl Boss. Welcome to the stream. We are being sneaky beaky. ideally. But we'll see how well that goes. Play some horror and Nancy Drew. I haven't played that. Oh shit! Oh shit! Oh! Oh, it's Dover. Oh, it's Dover. Okay. I love the Nancy Drew games. I think they're great. They're I haven't heard of those in forever. You know, like those are. Where's my knife? Those are awesome. You know. Hey, hey. Yeah. Stealth. I don't need it. All right. There we go. I'm sorry. I do hope you had a good stream. That was unfortunate. But that's okay. You know, it's called improvisation, right? We'll make it work. We'll make it work. Give me your money. Okay. Yeah, it's still stealthy. See, here's the thing. Ah! Okay. Here's the thing. It's still stealthy because they can't see me if they're dead. You follow? Like, it still counts, okay? We're good, right? We're good. We're good, okay? Yeah. If there's no witnesses, then no one saw me. Easy peasy. Ooh, a decanter. I don't know what the fuck that means. Ooh, juice. Okay. All right, let's go. Oh, shit. Okay. Who's pissing on me? What? Oh, shit. Okay. Let's short circuit him. There we go. Oh, you guys are shit. Oh my god, you're awful. Okay, we're good. We're going. We're cruising. All right. What the fuck is that? Power shotgun? Don't mind if I do. Wait, is there more? Okay, looks like we're good.
Attention.
Come out.
Oh shit. Okay. I want that big boy shotgun. Before we proceed, I want the fucking big boy shotgun. Yeah, double barrel shotgun. Give me that shit. All right, here we go. I'm ready. I'm fucking ready. All right, I come out, and then I started blasting. And then I started blasting. Yeah, switching to your pistols faster than reloading. Oh fuck, I have to reload my pistol too. Oh shit. Okay. Now we're gonna reload our weapons before we continue, because I'm very smart. I'm a good noodle. Okay. Reach the elevator. Give me that money. Okay. Alright. Oh, I can do my skills. Okay. So by the way, for everyone that just came in, we are playing Cyberpunk. This is only our second stream with it. I am completely blind. I don't know shit about Cyberpunk. I haven't played the tabletop RPG, haven't played the anime. We are completely blind. So normally I'm okay with spoilers because normally we play games that are really old like Skyrim. But this time, just please no spoilers. Heart emoji. But yeah, so if I do really stupid shit that's like more stupid than the regular shit I do, that's why. That is why. So let's go do this real quick. I do want to be cooler, because it looks like, I do want to do stealth. There was an accident. I just wanted to be nice. I wanted to read chat, and the lesson here, okay? The lesson here, listen closely, listen. Don't be nice to anyone ever. No, I'm kidding. That was a joke. But thank you guys, Raiders. Thank you so much for the raid, Plibit. I appreciate it, and I'm glad you had a good stream. I'm just dumb. What is this? Gag order. We'll delay yeah, let's do that one and that one. That sounds fun. And you know what? That one. Yeah, I want to be sneaky beaky. Okay, we're gonna make being sneaky work. Yes, I have a pump shotgun. That's not the point. Okay. Oh shit, where are they? Where are they? I hear gunshots, but oh shit. I hear gunshots, but I don't know where they are. Oh, okay. Know where they are now. Okay. Okay. Do I have a grenade? Oh, I don't have grenades. I got my shotgun though. I'm blasting. Okay, there we go. All right. Who's next? Don't think I didn't see you, bucko. Aha, finish him off. All right. And then for you, I I get out the blicky. Okay, there we go. We're all good. All good. Okay. All good? Everyone okay? Okay. Excellent. All right. Take that. Any other goodies? Woo! Don't mind if I do. All right. Keep going through the elevator. I'm gonna try to be sneaky now.
We gotta plow through them!
Okay, I guess being sneaky is just entirely out the window. That's fine.
I've got this.
Oh wait, no it is. It is. Overheat him. Oh shit, we don't have enough. Alright, that worked. But they see me now. Okay. Okay, that's one. Reload. No, I did wrong thing. There we go. Okay. There we go. Okay. It was pretty easy breaking into Twitter. Yeah, hey, I mean, we can do this more often. This is fun. I'm having a great time. Okay. Listen, I'm trying to have a recovery moment, okay? And it looks like we're just gonna have to... Looks like we're just gonna have to commit... Are you still alive? Stop that. Okay. Looks like we're just gonna have to... It's fine. Everything's fine, okay? It's all gonna work out. Here's the thing, right? Okay? It's all gonna work out, or I die. Such is life. Say lovey, right? Okay. You good? Alright, let's skedaddle. If we live through this... You okay, buddy? Oh yeah, he's fucking died.
What?
Saburo Arasaka. 150 years. And today, of all fucking days.
Yeah.
That's like some divine comedy shit.
Yeah. Save your strength.
Save your strength, Jackie.
He's being silly to cope. I'm not gonna be mean to him for being silly.
But she'll be.
Now, let me make sure I'm
get out
reloaded and
alive.
everything. Alright, talk to T-Bug.
Tell Bug, why don't you? Maybe she'd still be alive if we hadn't been so gung-fucking-ho.
Why are you so mean? Being mean is not going to help us in this situation, be you dumb bitch.
How the chips are falling.
Oh. We just gotta wait. I'm not feeling great about what's gonna happen when I open that door. I'm gonna be honest. I'm not feeling great about that. Oh, it's fine.
Careful now.
Alright, now we're still sneaky. Oh shit, there's a camera!
Come on, motherfucker!
I can't win! Okay, that's okay. That's fine. Everything's fine. Wait, what's this? Okay. Sprint! Is there one over here? No. Okay. Oh, he is just going! Oh shit, okay, he just fucking... No, there's a grenade, Jackie! Alright. I keep trying to switch to my pistol, but I keep accidentally... There we go, okay. Switching to your pistol is faster than reloading. If Call of Duty has taught me anything.
Wouldn't want to disappoint him.
Oh shit, there's another guy over there. I want to make sure he doesn't kill Jack. Like, I don't know if Jackie can die or not, that ass.
Elevator! I'll be!
Okay.
Portal. We are fucked beyond belief already.
Holy shit. Alright.
Leaking a little.
You'll be okay. Uh-oh. Oh shit. Okay. Alright, we're just gonna fucking go.
Delamay, got it!
Combat mode, combat mode, combat mode, combat mode!
Fucking drive!
Drive, bitch!
Not
Woo!
bad.
Client feedback noted.
How's our ride looking?
Tip-top. Though alas, we are being pursued.
Sweet.
Oh my god!
Please remain calm.
Calm!
Roadblock
Leave it to me.
What am I doing? The drone.
Ah! I get to just give up!
Oh my god, these things are beefy. Okay, let's get the little ones first, maybe? If I can fucking shoot them, Jesus! Oh my god, okay. Wait, oh, I can hack them! I didn't even think about that! Okay, that's one. Okay. We'll wait. I'm still respawning, or regenning. Okay, that's one. Last one. Okay. Let me level up real quick. No, I'll do it later. It would be funny though. All right, we did it.
We did it, Jackie. We fucking made it.
Oh fuck! If your vehicle continues to take damage, it will explode. Well, let's leave then. Let's go. Take us to a river dock.
Take us to a river dock now.
Apologies, but that will not be possible.
What do you mean?
Our itinerary has been pre-arranged and paid for in advance.
Oh, motherfucker.
Fuck your liberty. Do what I say.
It's okay, V.
If Jackie dies, I'm gonna lose my fucking mind.
Keep Mr. Wells conscious.
All right. Think about Misty.
It's gonna be all right. You'll see Misty, your mom, everyone you love. Jackie, don't close your eyes.
No. If Jackie dies, I'm gonna lose my fucking mind.
No. She
No.
always knew.
No. Hi, Ed. This man's dying. If this man dies, I'll lose my shit. Oh my god.
Biochip.
No. Don't die. Don't die. No, you're so silly. Don't die.
For me.
Okay. No. Does he die? No. 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 I don't want to play this game anymore.
Mr. Wells has passed.
No! No!
The Excelsior package provides for the disposal of passenger remains free of charge.
No! Was there any way to save him? If we go to the clinic, can we revive him? Cause this shit's insane. Right? Like, this, you can't revive him? Oh. Take him to his family.
He'd want to be with his family.
Yeah.
Mr. Wells's closest blood relative is Guadalupe Alejandra Wells,
Oh no.
proprietress
I'm
of the El
crying.
Coyote Coho Bar.
There's no way.
Make sure to deliver him safely. Mr. Deshawn awaits you in room number 204.
No.
See you in the major leagues, Jack.
No. Man. I'm so sad. Everyone's dead because the T-Bug died too, didn't she? Aww. Well, we'll check on Night City. I fucking hate Night City. Fuck this shit. Fuck this place. It's me.
Let me.
Oh shit.
He waiting.
No, it has a good ending. No. Hey, bud.
WNS,
That's just
N54,
gonna be mad
even
at
the
me.
pirate networks.
I fucked
You
up.
blown up everywhere.
Yep. Yup.
And the Jackster, he out in the car?
The fuck do you think? say?
Don't care to know how Jackie is?
Tone, you best watch it.
You best watch your tone.
Bled out in the back seat. Dead.
Well, I'm sorry to hear that. And the relic?
Saburo Arasaka's son, Yorinobu Arasaka,
Oh.
has cast blame for his father's murder on
I
the
did
company's
save,
rivals,
but
although he is not
Miss V?
no.
Gaslight.
I don't know. But the thing is, so much for the fall, you know, I guess I can't keep girl boss looking to the stream. I have to make a choice.
After the break,
I feel like it's gonna make it worse for me if I don't give it to him, because he's gonna know I'm lying. He can find out.
Got it right here.
Hi,
I was afraid of
Misty.
that.
What? What?
Saburo Arasaka. Dead. You got any notion of the shit you pulled me into?
How did I?
The fucking Emperor!
I did not
His
kill the
Majesty.
Emperor! I did not!
Anyone with so much as a pinky toe dipped in this mess is as good as dead!
I was in the wrong place at the wrong time. Yeah, you're the one. You started it!
You're the one who got us into this mess. Let's start with your prep work. You had no idea Saburo Arasaka would be at the hotel?
Go
I don't
off,
have
Queen.
access to his personal fucking schedule. And besides, nobody asked you to kill the old man.
I did not kill him!
That wasn't us.
I did not hit her!
No shit! Tell that to the soccer ninjas they send after you.
I didn't kill him. Don't look at me like that.
Alright, settle down.
It's so Jover, bro. It's so Jover.
Parker, Eddie's. Then we leave the city limits behind. But first, your face got blood all over it.
Yeah, what about it?
Bathroom's there.
Okay.
Go get yourself cleaned up.
Alright. What does it say? Fuck and let fuck. Amen to that. Can I just shit? That was really... Oh! Can I say something controversial yet brave? Can I be controversial? She's so fucking hot right now. Like, I know I shouldn't say that, but oh my god, she's so hot. Like, oh my god, watch this, watch this, watch this. I love when women are angry. Like, I'm sad, and I'm upset, but god, she's hot. She's so hot. Automod held it, but you're right, bloody bitches are hot. We allow that real quick. What do you mean, what the I'm just saying. Okay, I'm just saying. Travis hot. I mean, like, she just looks real. Listen, I don't know, man. I'm just saying. I don't know, man. Okay. What? No! Is it because I broke the mirror?
Can't risk it, V. Remember our
I'll
first
fucking kill you.
Fucking kill you!
Seems I've chosen the quiet life after all. No blaze of glory for me.
Holy shit. How the fuck do I live? How the fuck do I live? How the fuck do I live? What am I having? What the fuck is going on? We in a hospital? Interlude. What's this?
Hey.
Hey.
Hey,
Wait, who the fuck am I?
You all right?
never been better.
Who is this man?
Sure don't look it.
Who is this?
I can't let you on. Hey, we're chill.
Is that Keanu Reeves? Is that Keanu Reeves? I'm Keanu Reeves! Hey, you're finally awake. Oh my god, daddy time! Daddy mode!
Of course you're high.
Leave me alone. Let me live. Oh yeah! Zankoku
I'm here to say goodbye to all of you.
Wait, what? No, don't kill yourself. You're so sexy. Oh. Oh, okay. Well, rock on, man. I don't know why, but my brain was like, is he gonna just kill himself in front of the crowd? Alright. I gotta see.
Money's money, can't fuck around with it. Speaking.
You're wasting your lives following us around like dogs.
What crawled up your ass?
I feel like you shouldn't be mean to your groupies, but
Johnny,
I guess it could. Huh? What's up?
Don't do this. You could still change your mind.
See you in the next life, friend.
Get over here, man.
Kiss him.
Fuck this band. Not your crowd, not your noise. Do your own thing.
Bastard.
A dude offing himself on
Gonna
stage
miss
is
you
just
something
Tuesday. Yeah, you're right,
See
though.
you in the next life, friend.
He's hot.
You're late.
Sorry.
Love it when you're mad. Get my southern blood pumping.
Get in. Or change.
Silverhand. Hey, Shaden.
Get us in the air.
What are we doing?
Here,
What
put
is
this
happening?
on, and it stays on. Got it?
Okay. Yes, ma'am. I'm still fucked up about, dude. I'm still fucked up about Jackie. I'm just being silly. I was too silly and then everyone died. Oh, well, thank you for the posture check at the hydrant. Lord knows I need it. I went back to shrimp. That was intense. You knew I was shrimping. You knew. We sent Jackie to his family. That's what we did. Oh, we're about to find out why. That's true. Oh my god, current year!
Skull cracking out there. That us?
Johnny's idea. Wayland's drawing
I'm just like so enveloped in the game. I'm like, I need to be closer to it. I need to, I need to be in the game. I need to fuck the game. You don't understand. I'm just like, put me closer. Put me closer. I'm shrimping. You know, yeah, this could be Baltimore. No, I'm kidding. What are we doing? Oh, are those my muscles? Oh, hell yeah. Hell yeah.
Target range of fire.
Make it rain.
What are we doing? What are we doing? Who are we killing? Who are these people? Why am I just standing here? Me just standing here does not feel safe. Oh shit, yeah, that's why. Alright, my turn. Yippee! Oh shit, okay, I can't see it. I want it to explode. Yay! Yay! I can't see the aiming thing. Am I winning? Am I winning? Yay! Yay! Die, motherfucker! Yay! Oh my god, get that they're beating. Oh, it's Arasaka's forces. I see. Yay! Oh fuck, we're going.
Murphy.
Other access point. Get moving.
Johnny, remember the plan?
Get the payload on the elevator, arm it, let gravity do its thing. Explosion rocks the foundation, tower crumbles, chaos, screaming, roll credits.
Exit
Okay.
window's gonna be tight.
Jacking in. Is grass green? Birds fly? Do cats eat bats? Do rats shit gnats?
Huh?
Mainframe's not your playground, Murphy. Come on. Evac announcement. Broadcast it across all frequencies and let's get
Quick
moving.
melee with that gun?
Sheesh. Who wrote this manifesto?
Really
Holy
need me to
shit.
answer that question?
Jesus, Johnny. You've gone off the deep end. That's coming from a chair jog.
Come on.
Let's go.
Get ready. Let's get to work.
Oh, this is a good boy gun. This is a big boy gun.
Over there. I'm impressed. Seriously.
Holy shit! What is this fucking gun? Oh my god! Hello?
Hey, leave a little for me.
What the fuck is that?
She shot it with thimbles she thought it would can, pursued it with forks and home.
Johnny.
Holy
payload.
fuck. Hand cannon is an accurate description. The fun gun. Yeah, I mean, okay. Alright.
Bushido
Bomb
2,
time.
bomb's name is what?
Wrap it up. We got Delta.
The Demolitron. We're good to blow.
Shaka Elite's incoming.
Out of there,
Run
Johnny.
for it.
I just gotta wait, I
Shoot
guess.
the cables. Get the motor spinning. We're on our way.
Oh shit.
Not done yet. Still need to feed this.
Yeah,
to
what
the
is my
subnet.
plan?
Fucking knew it. This was never about corporate colonialism. This was about your groupie output, wasn't it?
What?
No, you wouldn't understand, Rogue.
Giving you 4 fucking minutes. Chopper's not gonna wait one
Are we?
Door lock breached. Arasaka's sons of bitches.
If you wanted to
incoming.
make a political
Love
statement,
you,
you
Spider.
could have just gone on Twitter. I don't think we need to bomb a building. Like, don't get me wrong, you know, that's I'm not a fan of, you know, corporations either, but that does seem a little rash, don't you think? I don't know, maybe I'm just overreacting or underreacting. I don't think it's Arasaka's can burn. Okay. I'll trust you. I don't know the full lore yet, so they could like be the literally worst. You're mid-reacting? Oh, okay. So an appropriate level of reaction. Alright, find the access point. Alright. Up the stairs.
Don't break
Are you alive? Well, stop doing it. Okay.
Go, go, go.
Oh shit. Okay. Oh my god.
He has no.
Just deadass decapitated that thing. Fuck.
Closing in on the access.
Holy shit. Okay.
Slide in.
I'm slotting. Yeah, I'm assuming we'll get more lore about why the Arasakas are bad later on. Although we might have already gotten it and it just went over my fucking head. That is also very possible.
Hilarious. You gonna help or not?
Do spiders spin webs? It's time we caught some flies.
Thanks, Murph.
Now, just for good measure. Holy cyber cow. We're on TV.
Look,
Take a
Mom!
Now to Arasaka Tower. Its evacuation ongoing after an unidentified terrorist organization
Look,
released
Mom,
a
I'm on
manifesto
TV.
threatening violence. The terrorists stating their
Oh,
desire
shit.
to quote-unquote topple a monument to corporate colonialism. Night City's mayor,
Alright.
Imbole
Think lore about the
Ebunipe,
beanbags
has
gone back
issued
as
a
the
statement
80s.
declaring that he will
okay.
bring the full force of the law to bear.
I need to
in
read the
response
like
to
we
any
have
acts
the
of
rule book.
terrorism.
We have the lore
Going
primer
now
for
to our
Cyberpunk. I need to
reporter on the
read
scene
it.
at Arasaka Tower. Hopefully he can shed some light on the situation as events
All
unfold.
set. Now get out of there.
Alright.
They're moving up. Hit the roof quick.
Huh? Okay. I got my blicky. I'm ready to go. Yeah, the lore seems real. Oh my god! I got into the stream! I'm gonna fucking make lose it! Oh, big boy. Big boy.
Shit. That's Adam Smasher.
Oh, that's the guy we saw before. Hi, Adam Smasher. Worth the read. I really love the lore. It looks really interesting from like all that David's told me about it.
Run, Johnny.
So,
Like the wind.
even though I may not have a group to play the actual RPG with it, what the fuck? Even though I may not have a group to play the RPG with anytime soon, I think I am gonna ask David if he'll let me borrow it. Oh shit! What the hap is fucking-ing?
Smasher.
Told you, Johnny boy. Told you I'd end you someday.
Oh shit! Well, how does he live? Does he live? What the fuck? Oh, is that me? Is that my body? No, okay. Oh, that's my body. Oh, that's trauma team.
まだ生きています。わかりました。
向かいます。
This whole event was part of the tabletop. Oh, very cool. Ah!
Let us try once more. Your associates. Who are they? How did you acquire fissile material?
Gonna give good cop over there a chance to say something? Come on.
Which terrorist organization do you belong to?
All of them. Next question.
How did you acquire fissile material?
Your boss looks unimpressed.
Boss don't look too pleased with your efforts.
Wait, who's that baddie over there with the ponytail?
Let's see. 直接話をする。
Hot damn. Done and gone.
Hey.
My husband died in that tower.
Oh, Schwepsy. Sorry about
There
that.
are fates worse than deaths.
What is it? Oh yeah, that's Sub-Zero, yeah. I stood in traffic and got roadkilled. Nice! Playing the game as intended.
なぜこのようなことを
Why did you do this?
To bring an end to the madness you wreak.
人は嘘をつき自分自身を欺く
Hi.
だが死者は違う死者は雄
What's
弁だ
this
が
funky little
彼らは
headband
決
you
して
got?
嘘をつかない
It's like a flower crown, but instead of flowers, it's
死者の
needles.
言葉に
I don't know if I
は
like
つつま
that.
しさがある始めろ
Oh boy. Soul killer. Soul killer. Oh boy. That sounds very dramatic, and he was just like, ugh. Yeah, me too, bud. Am I? What's happening? Is this a BD?
Gaslight, gatekeep,
Oh, Sir Bear,
girl
thanks so much for the
boss.
follow. You know, Gaslight Gatekeep Girl Boss, welcome to the stream. I don't know what the fuck is happening. Funky headband is not fun. I feel like, is this a BD? Are we brain dancing? Brain dancing with the dead? Because it looks like Keanu Reeves. I know we were playing as Keanu Reeves. Where'd he go? Keanu. Oh, it's not? Okay. Hi. Oh, that's me again.
And you? Who are you?
I'm V. If I'm still fucking alive somehow. Okay, I lived, I guess. How the fuck did I live? Like, genuinely, how the fuck did I live? Because I'm a terrorist at this point, so there's no way, like, Trauma Team would have come and got me. Do I even fucking have insurance? Like, at all? Like... Metal sheet. What the fuck happened? What is going on? Holy shit. Yeah, I got shot in the head and dumped. What a fucking day. Oh my, ew, okay. Oh no. Come on, get up, girlie, you can do it. Come on, V, I know you got it in ya. Your buddy died and now I'm the trash. I'm the trash, man. I'm in the oh, fuck. Wait, should I play dead? Nerf dart? Oh no. Oh jeez. Who are you? Yeah, this is Dex.
Heavier than she looks.
Hey!
Now, listen, dog.
I'm sorry, all the weight went to my massive
I have done exactly
ass.
what you asked. So let's you and me figure.
Oh shit! Who are you? Wait, Takamuna.
荒坂様、お父様の殺害犯を見つけました。
I didn't do it.
この女で間違いありません。はい。1時間後には着くかと。
Fuck.
Quiet.
Oh. He was at the tower when old man got blue. Yeah, I didn't do it. Ooh, shotgun.
くそ、ひどい匂いだ。
Ah, you too. God damn. This shit got crazy. Like, I knew obviously, like, I feel like from a storytelling perspective, I knew that it was gonna get shitty. But, like, I knew it was gonna go bad, but oh boy, I didn't think it would go this bad. What is happening? What? What is going on? I did oh my god. We don't get a single moment's peace now, do we? Oh shit. Get up! Stop being alive! Do I shoot their motorcycles? Ah, that seems to be the strat. Okay. I was like, damn, they're hefty. Oh, fuck. What is going on? Okay. Trying to shoot the wheel. Why won't you blow up? Make your wheel stop. There we go. Thank you. Holy fuck. Did I get him? Run him the fuck over. Oh my god, he's heavy. Ah! I don't have a pistol to switch to, it's just my pistol! Oh fuck. Yeah, I'm with you on that one. Yeah, you tell him. Oh my god, I don't do shit to him. I just have to live? I can do that. Maybe. I mean, at this rate, my luck's very good in terms of living.
Don't you dare faint again.
Okay. Please, would be
Keep
nice.
your eyes open.
Okay. The way he takes it away like it's a toy.
We both could use medical attention. Do you know a Reaper doc whom you can trust?
Yeah.
I've seen them before. Troy. The exterminator.
The fact that she's gone through all this and hasn't
must
chipped
get
a
to
single
Reaper
nail
doc.
is impressive, by the way.
Quickly.
Okay, Victor can help.
Victor will fix us up.
We have to get there somehow. Call someone. Anyone.
All right.
I don't know
all
if
right.
that's gonna work. I don't know if calling Delamain's gonna work.
Greetings. My scanner indicates you are outside the service area.
Just come pick me up. need to get to Misty's esoterica in front of Biggs.
Of course. A vehicle is en route. It should arrive.
Yeah,
in less
nails
than 20
intact,
minutes.
heels not missing.
What are
The
you doing?
heels are still intact?
Hey!
Incredible. Wait, what?
The personal link is damaged.
Please proceed to insert the jack below the ear, though not too deep. There should be auxiliary neurosockets between her lymph nodes, beneath the SCMs.
If I hit the vein by mistake, she will die.
Indeed.
Yeah,
She will.
indeed.
I think I have the socket.
Now proceed to connect.
I hope he picked the right
Let's
one.
get her inside.
Okay.
I cannot hold it.
I'm just too thick. I was so thick, he died.
I need to rest.
That your blood?
Misty!
Oh, shit. Oh, and Misty's Jackie's girlfriend.
Pressure's tanking.
It's neurogenic shock. She's dying.
How's the car still here? Why's the car at my surgery? Huh?
There is risk of.
I know what I'm doing.
He can put it in my socket any day. He is kind of fine. Like, I know he's probably the bad guy, but he's kind of fine. I'll admit it. I'm not afraid. I'm not a coward. Oh shit. Oh my god, my feet are out. Free feet, would you look at that?
To defend the well-being of my family and my employees. That is why I have decided to double the amount
Oh
of
shit.
our active Night City security forces. President Myers has called this a breach in the Army Accord. Provocation targeted at the NUSA and Militech. Tell me then, what do we call the murder of...
Ah shit, did I start a world war?
How is she?
Whoopsie.
Slower
Oh,
on
he's
the
still
men
here.
than you, but looking better every day.
Fuck, dude. Why are you touching me? I don't know you. What? What? What's your deal?
V, you in there?
My head.
How you feeling?
Fuck. That's just my response to everything. Just fuck. Shit.
Here's a rain. And I'm seeing shit.
These hallucinations. Describe them to me.
Everything is
Blinding
dots.
lights. It's loud. I'm on stage and almost can't breathe. I'm so damn full of hatred.
Oh, well, that's normal.
And then I let it all out into a mic, and I realized.
Oh, she's talking about what
now
happened.
I don't feel any better. And then, promise not to laugh. I plant a bomb in Arasaka Tower.
Why are you saying all
Nothing
this?
there to laugh about.
Night City looked different though.
Night
Oh,
City
Cyberdeck, thank you so much for
different.
the 2 months, gamer. I appreciate
Strange.
that. You now have 2 PlayStation 2s.
I
Thank you,
hated it.
gamer. I'm glad you're having
Hated
fun.
everybody. Every inch.
Oh god. But thank
It was
you.
too real. Even for a lucid dream.
You weren't dreaming, V. Those were memories. There's a personality construct on that shard. Dreams you had were from his past.
Oh shit. How's that possible?
Saying I experienced another Psyche's memories? How is that even possible?
You two are connected in a way I can't make head or tail of.
Who? Me and who? Vic.
Oh yeah, he would have the shard, so he'd
Who's
know,
the
I
other?
guess.
Johnny Silverhand, the terrorist. Real talk
Johnny
of the town back
Silverhand
in my
is the
day.
coolest fucking name ever, though. Like, that's such a
Anyway,
cool name.
That's not what's important right now.
What isn't?
What is?
The biochip. It's basically a bomb. Fuse lit already. You don't have much time left. Much
Oh shit.
life.
I'm going
A
to
few
die.
weeks tops. Silverhand's construct is overriding your
great.
consciousness, gradually taking over your body until one day you'll just be gone. V, it's important you get all this.
I do not get it. You'll fix me up, right?
You'll fix me up, right?
Right?
Vic?
If I could, I would, V. Believe me. But it's way beyond what I know how to do.
You're the best of the best, Vic. Why can't you help me?
No one can help you.
You want the long story or the short?
Yeah, give me this tea.
Don't omit a thing. Not one D.
Okay. There is a construct, a psyche on the chip. That of Johnny Silverhand. You jacked it in your chip slot. Nothing happened, right? Until you died.
Bullet in the head from Dexter Deshawn.
Yeah, how did
Come
she
back
live?
from something like that?
Low caliber. You lucked out. Not least thanks to another poor decision by Mr. Deshawn. The nanites off the chip started fixing the damage. Then they took your hand and coaxed you off the path toward the light.
You don't just rise, then yeah. You don't just die, then raise from the grave.
And then get up like nothing happened.
Used to be true. Now it's only if they don't have a classified piece of corpo-tech primed to resurrect them.
What about me? My psyche. I make it back from the other side, and what? I'm supposed to pretend change is normal?
Jesus.
Ask the Arasaka engineers who built the
Yeah, so
thing.
we're just gonna fucking die. Shit.
All I know is your mind's gonna go.
Well, better make the most of it.
Pretty.
Time to find some
From a
hookers.
biochip's perspective, your brain cells
Oh
are
my
a tumor
God.
that needs to be scooped out. Wow.
I don't want my brain cells
Empty shell
scooped
to
out.
hold the construct.
So this fucking terrorist wants to wipe me and take my place. Take my body.
It's not willful on his part. It's
4 hookers to
automatic.
choose from? Okay,
Inevitable.
well, we got time.
And neither of you can
2
stop
weeks?
it.
I can make it work. I can make it work. Can't we just take it out?
Can't we just take the chip out or switch it off?
Either way's out of the question. You die immediately.
Oh, great. So what now?
Vic, you've always come through for me. If there's nothing you can do to help me, then what the hell do I do?
Arasaka invented the soul killer tech to make
Tell
himself
me,
immortal.
please.
Oh!
Vic.
Okay.
I wish I knew, kid. Misty,
Oh my god. Yeah, Misty's probably...
You're asking too much from an old-timer like Vic.
Oh, I'm sorry,
Come on, V.
sweetheart.
Let's get you home.
I'm so sorry. Shit. This is crazy, bro.
And then he died.
And then he died.
I was gonna die. With him in my sleep.
Can I see? No, I can't see your roll
Sleep's
meter.
a small hint of death. The inevitable.
Can't actually tell if I'm awake now. I mean, I could be dead already, right?
Not something to focus on, V. Let it go. Here. Got some meds for you.
Oh.
Omega blockers. Taken regularly, they'll keep things from progressing too quickly.
Okay.
Also, they should keep that guest of yours calm and quiet. Pseudoendotrizines from me. Effect will be opposite. It'll speed things up. Free the demon, so to speak.
Is this a like red pill, blue pill type thing? I'm exhausted. Yeah, it's probably got some meaning behind it. I'm just ready to go to bed. Fuck this. We're going to bed. Oh,
Here.
Misty.
Got one more thing for you. Vic pulled this out of your skull.
What the fuck fuck is
Lucky
that?
charm?
I don't know what
Promise
that
you'll
is.
try to get some sleep.
I'm sorry about Jackie.
Misty, wait.
Yeah, it's cool, but
About
oh, it's the bullet.
Yeah?
Oh.
I'm so fucking sorry Jack's not here anymore.
Jackie was special. Really spiritually rich.
Aww.
He touched so many people with his love. Don't worry. He'll be around.
Aww.
Sure you'll be alright?
I'll be fine. Life is so beautifully powerful. So much more powerful than death.
She's such
But right
a treat.
now, you need rest.
She's such a
So
fucking
sleep.
delight.
Please sleep.
Fuck. Whoa. Night night. Nini. A fan-made version of that necklace? Oh, that's cool. God, I can't remember the last time a game has left me like speechless like this. Like I'm literally just like, damn. That's crazy. This Misty is very much more cooler than Misty Sky. This Misty's a fucking goat. Misty Sky can still catch these hands. The pills are story path choices that come up in the main quest line. Okay. Alright. Oh shit.
Gotta get out of here, understand?
Keanu Reeves!
And I'll kill anyone who gets in my way.
Oh shit.
You included.
I wish I could sex him. Like, I know he's a terrorist, but like, hear me out. You know, like no one's perfect. You know?
Need a smoke. Where'd you stash yours?
No one's perfect. Not something I need to worry about right now? Okay. He doesn't even have a body. So? How'd you get in here?
Where did you even come from? How are we even talking?
How the fuck should I know? The fuck kind of droid toy are you supposed to be?
The
Fucking
what?
ghost off!
What'd he call me? Whoa!
Who you work for, start talking.
I don't work for nobody. Anymore. He called me a slut! That's so fucked up!
Fucking Chip. Rip the thing out myself.
No, wait!
Oh shit. Was it like a nightmare? Oh no, that was real. Yeah, he's mimicking me. What a fucking guy.
I'll take control.
What?
I'll find a way. You hear me?
Huh. Go away.
See you never, asshole.
Now like that.
Hey!
Stick some iron in your mouth and pull the trigger.
Why are you so mean to me? This isn't even sexy. I'm just mad.
Our minds touching. I'm like mold on fruit, creeping into you. Nothing I can do about it. You hear me? I'd puke if I fucking could. It's just a copy of the engram. I'm out there.
Give me the
somewhere.
fucking pills.
Fuck me.
Wow. There's a lot to unpack here. Keanu Reeves, no. No. Oh, shit. Oh, I'm naked. And I have my underwear on the shower. Because I follow Twitch terms of service like a good noodle. I would never have nudity enabled on in a game. That'd be fucking crazy. Alright. So, lots of things happen. I think this is a good time to call it. Oh God, we'll talk to him later. That was fucking crazy. That was literally insane. Holy shit. I'm very excited to keep going with this. I think it'll be a lot of fun. Let's figure out who we're gonna raid. We'll raid Salem. She's very sweet. She's playing Minecraft. Please give her the same love and affection you give me. But damn, that was just the intro? Holy shit balls, dude. Alright, so our raid message, we're gonna keep it standard because I'm gonna be honest, I have to pee so fucking bad. So I'm just gonna send you with some EB raid and I'm gonna go piss. Alright, gamers, have a wonderful night. I will see you on Friday for Dave EB Date Night. And yeah, alright, catch you on the flip side.